And her first delivery bowls, Tammy Beaumont, she's out for a duck, a first baller in her last Test innings. Broader leap at the crease here, bat pad to short leg, and well, is it an appeal for a catch, is it? It's off Heather Knight's bat. She's walking, she's gone. Heather Knight is on her way. Her final appearance as an England player.
And a very good morning from the final day of women's Test match cricket from here at Lord's. This historic occasion, the one-off Rothesay Test match between England and India's women. Historic not just because it is the first time that a women's Test match has been played at this venue, but also because it is goodbye to Tammy Beaumont and also Heather Knight. England stalwarts with careers of both over 15 years, but they came to an end yesterday with those two dismissals as part of an England top order collapse that sees them at 130 for 6 heading into this final day, still 327 runs away from their notional target. But you never know. They've got Sophie Ecclestone, who will be heading to the middle, more than capable, and Amy Jones unbeaten on a half century. So there is still hope in the air, certainly, and there is absolutely plenty of reason to pop on down, not least because if you go to the Lord's website, free tickets to come on in today too for a bit of Test cricket at Lord's. So with the sun shining and the breeze blowing, let's check in what the weather is doing today. Let's head to the weather centre. Simon King is waiting. Simon, it feels lovely out here. Is it going to remain so?
I think so, absolutely, Henry. The weather's been set fair, hasn't it, for this Test match? It's been a bit hot, though, perhaps. But no, that breeze, I guess, is helping. It is going to stay pretty breezy today. That's coming in from the northeast, but it will swirl around the cricket ground as we go through the day. But lots of sunshine continuing, and temperatures will eventually rise up to about 26, 27 degrees Celsius for the early to mid part of this afternoon. So it's going to feel pretty warm. But yes, absolutely, no issues with the weather whatsoever. Just that wind, perhaps, just keep an eye on. But that's about it, really, Henry.
Lovely. And what about later in the week? Because we've got this the ODI series starting between England and India's men, with Edgbaston tomorrow, Cardiff on Thursday. Any sort of concerns in the air for those?
No, not at all, really. I mean, the heat wave that we're in at the moment is going to continue. So if anything, temperatures might rise a little bit. The wind will ease down as well. So it may be more about the heat. Now, there is like a very small chance that as we go towards the end of the week, perhaps we might start to see a few showers developing. But I have to stress that we are still 4 or 5 days away from those even kind of happening. So, you know, the kind of suggestion that any of those showers could affect any particular place at any particular time, you know, you just can't do with a weather forecast. But that's just, I think, one thing just to highlight, that for the end of the week, maybe Thursday, Friday, there might be some showers and maybe a storm or two across southern parts of England, South Wales, but we'll keep an eye on that one. But in the whole, just the hot, sunny weather is going to continue.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Simon King in the BBC Weather Centre. It certainly does feel very nice out here as I wave towards Catherine Sciver-Brunt, England bowling legend, who waves rather regally back at me, it has to be said. And it's lovely to have you here, Catherine, and Anisha Ghosh as well, Indian cricket writer and broadcaster. Stephen Finn as well, who knows this terrain very well indeed. We can hear the squeaking of that ancient light roller going up and down in the distance as well. And Catherine, England's position is, let's be perfectly honest, not a terribly optimistic one. But while there are wickets in hand, there is, I suppose, a modicum of hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fixture, isn't it, that's unlike any other Test fixture where there's that carrot of, can I get on the honours board? So it's not something where you turn up feeling really deflated and, you know, can see the reality, which is going to be quite a big loss. It's more, can I get myself on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Because you never know when they'll play another Test here. It could be 2-3 years. Some people are in their late 30s like, can they do it this one time? So there is that carrot of hope for individual, you know, greatness to be had. So I guess that's the only positive about the day. It's not being that good a Test, has it, for England? It's been somewhat disappointing and a lot to look at and learn from, especially with two massive Test greats about to retire.
Well, indeed, they've done their last acts on a cricket field. Internationally speaking, Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight will reflect more broadly on the Test as an event in a little while. But Finney, you've played plenty of Test matches where coming into the final day the situation might look a little hopeless, particularly as a lower order player when you're waiting the dressing. I mean, what is the mentality as you come into a day like this?
Well, I was lucky I didn't play in plenty of them. I played in a couple, and your motivation as a lower order player here is to get Amy Jones to 100. That is your drive and your desire to show the fight to hang around, is to support her and try and help her achieve something really special and something that she'll really appreciate. So yeah, my mind would be in this situation on trying to make sure that my defence is resolute, that I'm listening to when she calls me through for runs, because you would hope that Amy would try and farm the strike once she gets down to probably when they're 8 down, she should definitely be farming the strike, and just get her to 100. That's the motivation.
Just about past her 50 before the close of play last night. Catherine, is Sophie Eccleston of the mindset where she can block it and support in that fashion? You're laughing.
Yeah, well, because we're all a bit loose down there, aren't we? It's more for how long. She does have it in her, it's just for how long. And the thing is, people don't really realise that if they have a bit of chat, it could all be over in a few balls. You can wind her up quite easily. Everybody has their buttons, don't they? But I doubt these guys are going to be pushing Sophie's somehow, but we'll see. It's almost like a ticking time bomb. But like Finney says, like, it's going to be less about Sophie and more about Amy, so she's going to have to really switch on for her mate. And then you never know, miracles have happened. All that, patience and resilience might turn into a little 50 at Lord's for us, so there's also a carrot for her.
I love the idea that the person supporting Amy Jones towards 100 is described by a former teammate as a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, not ideal, you'd have to say. You just hope the ticking lasts a bit longer than it might usually do. But yeah, that motivation, and also you can't. The reality of the situation is that England are more than likely going to lose this game, but you can still come here with some sort of hope that you can perform the biggest miracle ever and do something really special and bat out the entirety of the day, because I still maintain, even though there have been good balls on that surface, there aren't demons in that pitch that should mean you're being absolutely skittled. So there is still that opportunity as well, however distant it may feel.
Right then, in the distance, the India team have all just congregated, rather like moths to a flame, around a figure who has just walked onto the outfield. Who's joined the congregation over there?
He's a fellow Mumbaikar of Jemima Rodriguez and Saili Sadgares, goes by the name of Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Just one of those legends who keeps coming by and frequents Wimbledon, and then now at the home of cricket, finally. What a moment. The entire team, Indian team and the support staff, have congregated around the great man, former India men's team captain, who has time and again given words of wisdom, be it on match eve at the World Cup final last year on home soil, and here on this historic day where India look well poised to script a momentous test victory at the Lord's Cricket Ground. Here is the great man, perhaps dishing out some pearls of wisdom once again.
Well, he's had a chat with the team, and he's wandering off the field wearing a rather smart brown shirt and cutting a distinctive figure. And it's always interesting, isn't it, that the smallest man of all has the biggest crowd around him, and he is just like that. He has that presence, doesn't he?
Our social media man, Alex Noble, has just pegged it across the pitch to go and get a camera in his face, and he's there in his red bib. He's done the job. He's got the snap. Very 2026 of us, isn't it?
I know. It's like when you fell over and immediately...
Melissa Story could have been down here, could have got there quicker.
Yeah, immediately out came the camera phone. Forget about anything else. It would be a historic occasion, regardless of what happened in this game. We know that. We talked about it a lot. But for India to win this test, it's going to be a huge thing.
Watershed. It would be an absolute watershed moment, not just because it's at the home of cricket, the first ever women's test match being played here at this iconic London venue, but also because this is going to come exactly 8 months after India's first ever women's World Cup triumph, which happened on home soil November the 2nd at the D.Y. Patil Stadium. Again, another Mumbai reference right there. And to some extent, I think this victory will also go some way towards easing the disappointment and a fair bit of criticism which the Indian women's team rightly copped for having a second successive league stage exit at a women's T20 World Cup. They have had a long tour. This is their 51st day on English soil. So for them to finish on a high and do so in a very emphatic fashion would definitely be quite the way to finish off this tour.
Let's have a little wander in the vague direction of the pavilion, because Sachin Tendulkar is deep in conversation with Harmanpreet Kaur, the India captain. I think Smriti Mandhana as well, and the deference shown to the great man, with both standing with hands behind their back or crossed in front of them, rather in the fashion that you might do if you were being introduced to royalty. Do you know what I mean, Catherine? There is that slight sense.
Well, let's be honest, he is absolute cricketing royalty, if not the most regal. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. I've just looked across, actually, to the practice wicket, and Kranti Gaud, who's, got potentially another milestone ahead of her, has just gone up about 10 miles an hour in pace. So I think that pep talk worked rather well.
Well, indeed, if there is ever a reason to really try and force home the advantage, it's possibly the fact that you've got a cricketing superstar who has made his way onto the outfield. We're just in front of the pavilion now. Sophie Ecclestone has just passed the ball in Stephen Finn's direction. Oh, what a touch from Finney, as he loses a crock and then plays it back towards the Everton-loving England player, described, as I mentioned, as a ticking time bomb by former teammate Catherine Sciver-Brunt. Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana deep in conversation with Sachin Tendulkar, who's wearing a rather smart pair of sunglasses as well. Everything about this week has felt special, Catherine, and it's felt as though all of these elements that we sort of wondered whether they would all work, whether the forecast would be good, the crowds would be good, the game would be competitive. Though it's not been particularly close, it has been a wonderful occasion.
It has, and that's not been ruined by the fact that this is going to go in India's favour. It's more like who will shine. Somebody has to win. 4 days cricket is not generally enough time for a result, but it just so worked out that India have been exceptional and will, if they do cross the line, which I'm pretty sure they will have deserved this victory 100%. It's not an ideal timing, is it, in between two massive T20 events, but it's something that needed to be done, needed to be put in the fixture. Both teams were extremely excited about this. Some people probably shouldn't be playing, should be resting, but the opportunity is such that you put your body on the line to do something that is really special and momentous and, well, a historic moment, isn't it? So you can't not enjoy it, no matter how it's gone. But I think they'll have the match, but we'll have the day where we can celebrate two greats of the game.
Indeed, in Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight, two greats of the women's game as well, and Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana still in conversation over there with Sachin Tendulkar, and goodness, Anisha, penny for the thoughts of what that conversation is at the moment. But in terms of this event for you and for the world game, what have you seen?
Well, there's a man who is present at all the important historic moments in Indian cricket. Mr. Rajiv Shukla, hey? He's a social media icon, because when Saurav Ganguly did his shot of moment here at the Lord's balcony, the man who was there, right next to him, was Rajiv Shukla, one of the office bearers of the BCCI, and of course at the IPL. I'm not surprised that on this historic day, Mr. Shukla has made his way into this iconic venue. Trust me, when our social media legend Alex Noble puts this out on BBC Cricket, this will go viral. It has social media virality written all over it, not because of Sachin Tendulkar, sorry SRT, but it is because of Rajiv Shukla. Mark my words, if it doesn't, take all my podiums.
When I spoke to you, social media virality is a phrase I was not introduced to, it must be said. When we talked about this event in the winter, Anisha, this test match, you said, look, I've got to be there. It's the Lord's test match, it's England against India, I can't miss it. I mean, it's felt this looming thing in the diary, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and the team had been looking forward to it as much as the T20 World Cup, considering that they were coming off a historic ODI World Cup triumph. They were aiming for the double, unfortunately got absolutely whacked by South Africa and Australia, who eventually became the champions, and come this format, it's their preferred format. This has been a format they've not lost in 10 out of their previous outings, lost one, 1-9. The one they did lose was in March against Australia, and that was again a heavy defeat. So for them to come off that one and counterpunch in the manner they have, thanks to the likes of the young Kranti God, of course Saili Sadghare, and of course the peripheral characters of whom I must mention Snehi Rana, Saili Sadghare and Deepti Sharma. I have a feeling two of them could be in with a chance to get their own name on the honours board, and it may not be Kranti Gaur again. Keep an eye out on Snehi Rana. Hey, she's on 2 wickets in this innings. Saili Sadghare has as many. So who knows, on the test bowling honours board, Kranti Gaur might have some company.
Well, players are queuing up to go and speak to and get photos with Sachin Tendulkar. And what about why we're in this position in the game? Well, we're here because largely the efforts of India, not just with the ball, as we mentioned, but also with the bat. And Yastika Bhatia played so wonderfully well to get her name on the honours board with 113 in India's second innings. A reminder, England are 130 for 6, 327 runs shy of their target. After play yesterday, Yastika Bhatia spoke to Alison Mitchell to reflect on reaching 3 figures.
I was very emotional actually because like last 1 year has not been that easy for me, and I went through like injuries and like tough time. But I think a lot of people backed me, my family, my teammates, support staff, and like I myself put a lot of hard work, and people at the COE also. So I think there's a lot of work that has put in, and I was very emotional. Just those moments were coming in my mind, so felt really good.
Yeah, 2 years out of the Indian side. You came back in May this year. ACL surgery.
Yeah.
So how tough was that?
It was very tough actually. Not easy when when you suffer that in a major tournament like coming up, and then I missed the WPL also. So it was very tough for me. And for a cricketer, like 1 week also, if you miss any one match also you miss, it's very big. But like I missed 2 big tournaments. So but I was like, I will use this time, I will study the game, like watch the cricket, and I can learn a lot from watching as well. And I'll prepare myself mentally better so that when I come back, I'll be a little bit leveling up.
Do you get a sense of the history that while you were here, you're in the dressing room seeing all the other names on that honours board, that you will now have yours alongside?
Yeah, definitely it's a proud moment, a very joyous occasion for me and my family as well. To see my name on the honours board, it's like dream come true, because we dream of such days when we grow up, like we'll play at Lords. So getting an opportunity, I think, to play is itself a very big deal for me, and I could score so much runs, so I think I'm very happy.
Well, there we go. Yastika Bhatia chatting to Alison Mitchell on the boundary edge yesterday after that marvellous 100. We're just down here by the boundary edge, and we're going to just wander over here very briefly to see if we can try and grab a word with Sachin Tendulkar. We're going to see if we can do it. It might be tricky because I think he's being led away into the long room. And I think we're going to struggle. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky. So we're going to head over the other way. We weren't far away from speaking to Sachin, but we're not going to get close enough, sadly. A laugh from the media manager as if to say, yeah, good luck. Right, Catherine, what did you make of that innings from Yastika Bhatia yesterday? Because sort of player that almost feels built for Test match cricket. Elegant stroke play.
Yeah, she's been gone for quite some time. I was so shocked when I saw her in the T20 World Cup squad, because she's not your typical, high strike rate, 6 hitting player. She's very classical, very elegant. It's all about timing, playing straight, which would suit Test cricket very well, which obviously we've seen her translate into yesterday. And I couldn't wish something happen for a better person. She's an absolute beauty of a person, and she's gone through a bit of a torrid time with that ACL injury, taken a long time to come back, as you know they do. She's worked really hard for that, and the pressure would have been immense because she's got that spot back and she's trying to keep it. So that for her would have meant the absolute world, and also something for all the selectors to take note of and remember how great she was when she first appeared a few years ago. So made up for her. Brilliant.
Your thoughts, Anisha, on Yastika Bhatia's innings?
Well, she's standing right in front of us right now, getting ready to do some wicket keeping, and that has played an important part in the storyline of her comeback, because yesterday when she was speaking at the press conference, it was one of the most moving press conferences from an India women's player I have personally covered, and she spoke as to how during her first few days of coming back from injury, the first thing she did was wicket keep. It wasn't batting. And she said, I felt like a kid and I was in tears trying to feel my way back into international cricket through the first craft that I learned, and that was wicket keeping. So to have her take the gloves today, see her go about her business, putting on the gloves, etc., on this last and final day, fourth day of the women's test, is also poetic because she's, of course, coming off that historic 100, the first ever by a woman in test cricket at this venue. But that was also her international first century. So that goes on to say something about how hard this youngster has had to work through all those injuries, and along the way has been guided by the likes of Smriti Mandhana, who she spoke about helping a great deal come back from an ACL injury, because Smriti herself had suffered one during the WBBL 2018 edition. She was very young, and that ACL injury changed Smriti Mandhana's career trajectory. More than the cricketing skills, it was the mindset that went a massive sea change for Smriti. And here is another left-hander who's always looked up to Smriti as an inspiration, as an elder sister, a Didi, as we say it in Hindi. And here she was, Yastika Bhatia, taking more than a moment to explain how Smriti Mandhana, the senior pro, the vice captain, has played a huge, huge role in helping her get back her career on track and go on to script history at the Lord's Cricket Ground.
Well, indeed, very well spoken. And Anisha, as we almost get blown off our feet here, it is quite the stiff breeze in front of the pavilion. Stephen Finn's deep in conversation with England's number 11, Lauren Bell, trying to offer some words of wisdom about how to perhaps bat out the final stages of England's glorious rearguard action today. Perhaps they are 4 wickets away from victory, though India and England are still 327 runs behind. Now, yesterday, Amy Jones, very well supported by Maddie Villiers, who has come in for Test debut in this game. She made 26, but perhaps more importantly, survived 63 deliveries. And though it's been a disappointing Test match in the main for England, Villiers spoke about the event and the occasion in general with Alison Mitchell last night.
It's been incredible, really. I think as I said, when we were standing and singing the anthems and all the past players were out there, it was a really emotional day. It's been an emotional few days, to be completely honest, but yeah, it's been a real privilege to walk out of the long room, and yeah, I've just enjoyed it, really.
Your first Test wicket was Harmanpreet Kaur. That must have been a good one to get.
Yeah, I've never had a feeling like that, to be completely honest. It's something that I don't think I'll ever be able to feel again. So yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with that one, and I feel like it was the breakthrough that we needed at the time as well. So that was great.
India on a surge now throughout this third day to take it into a fourth now. But what was the mindset that you needed with the bat today? What was the message sort of going out to face a third innings when you had such a hefty total that was set ahead of you?
Yeah, well, I just kept telling myself to be boring, really, and I feel like they were going to get bored before me. That was my mentality, and I thought that when they missed, I would cash in and just stick out there with Amy. She was batting so well, so I thought if we get a little partnership together and hopefully see out the day. It didn't quite happen like that, but just wanted to take it into day 4, and then whatever happens tomorrow will take care of itself.
Your first Test match, but the last for 2 of your teammates. And Tammy Beaumont wasn't able to get a score today. Heather Knight made a few runs. What's it been like for those 2? What was it like for Tammy walking back into the dressing room after a guard of honour from the Indian team?
Yeah, and rightly so. Look, they've given so much to the game, and I think they deserve a well-earned retirement now. Yeah, it didn't work out for Tammy today, but yeah, she loved it walking back into, and like I said, rightly so. Walk back into the change rooms.
And what influence has Heather Knight had on the dressing room on you? Big question, isn't it? But for someone who lifted a World Cup trophy here on this ground as well.
Yeah, well, personally, she's had a massive impact for me. I sent her a message last night saying that, I don't know if she'd remember it, but a few years ago when I lost my England contract, she said to me that I would play for England again, just keep going. And yeah, like that stuck with me for quite a long time. And she gave me my first cap, and I was here today to to celebrate and remember her career. So, yeah, it's been what she's given is once in a generation, I think, and yeah, I think she's going to enjoy a well earned retirement.
Well, the thoughts there of Maddie Villiers. You might just be able to hear the Lord's 5 minutes bell being rung by Australia former captain Alex Blackwell, wearing a bright red shirt and shaking the hands of the great and the good of the MCC up there on that balcony. And so we're not far from the start of play. I mentioned Stephen Finn had been chatting to Lauren Bell. A bit of a worry yesterday with this abdominal muscle soreness, but hopefully she'll be fit to bat. We think she will.
Yes, yeah, she said she's going to bat, and that it's not as bad as maybe initially feared. Think she'll be fine to play in the 100. So her first task before that, though, is to, like we've said, support Amy Jones if Amy Jones is still there, and try and get her through to 100. Lauren did mention scoring 100 herself, so it's nice to hear her optimism. But I think it's just about surviving as long as you possibly can this morning, and give the people here who've come to watch, mostly Indian fans, to try and delay their celebrations, really.
And so what would be your words of advice, your pearls of wisdom to England's lower order, with still 327 runs behind their target and just 4 wickets in hand?
Well, I think it's just remember your responsibilities. And again, it very much depends who you're batting with. But if Amy Jones is there, or if Sophie Ecclestone gets a start and gets herself in, you're there to play a supporting role and watch the ball as hard as you can. Be decisive in your foot movement when you're batting. And try and play with as straight a bat as possible, because we have seen a lot of people get into trouble on this pitch looking to play square of the wicket when the ball hasn't quite been there. So play with a straight bat, watch the ball, support your mate, and try and have fun.
Indeed. Very good words of advice. Stephen, thank you very much indeed. And just a little reminder, if you happen to be in the Lord's area or not too far away, if you go to Lord's website, free tickets available to come on down and enjoy some Test match cricket. Plenty have done that as well. You may get a couple of hours worth, you may get more than that. Who knows? We will find out the answer to that shortly. And as always, it'll be crucial to see how England start with the bat and whether India can continue that momentum that they picked up through England's second innings last night. The two umpires, Anna Harris and Sue Redfern, are heading to the middle. A formidable pair of umpires heading out there right in front of us, and a formidable pair opening proceedings in the commentary box as well. Alison Mitchell, Alex Hartley, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Henry. Well, let's see how long we go today. People coming into the grandstand, the Warner stand, the members' pavilion, and it is a great chance, as Henry said, to jump on lords.org and grab yourself a ticket for free and come and experience Lords. However long today might go for. Alex Hartley, 4 wickets that India need for an historic win on what for them and for any neutral watching, a memorable occasion which England have been part of. They've been outplayed throughout the match, really, from the start of day 2. But there is still a sense of occasion here, and you can tell how much this means to India to get their mark and win this first ever women's test at Lords.
Of course, and especially off a World Cup where they really disappointed themselves and their fans and everyone around them. We know the pressure that India are under when it comes to world cricket. That's a conversation that we could talk about for hours and hours and hours. But they've come back this test match. They've had a little bit of a rest. They've had a bigger build-up into this test match, and they've played exceptionally well. They have, I'd say, after about 15 minutes of day 1, they've been in control of this game. England have been below par. It's been a little bit of a World Cup hangover, a quick turnaround. The seamers look a bit tired. The batters look like they're playing shots that was meant for last week, not this week. It's all been a little bit of a mess. But still, it's not taken anything away from this game, because if you think of all the test matches that we've had historically here, New Zealand underperformed against England, and we've had it in the past in men's test matches. So it's not taken anything away from the occasion. It's just been a shame it's not been an absolute nail-biter.
Well, the team have been, the India team that is, this morning, inspired by Sachin Tendulkar, who was in the huddle with them. India have had their own huddle now on the edge of the outfield. They've broken away, they've come out into the middle, as have the England batters. So Sophie Ecclestone not out overnight, 1 to her name. Amy Jones is the batter England will look to really show the resistance today and just see how far she can stretch this innings. 52 not out. We've already had Yastika Bhatia becoming the first woman on the honours board at Lords for batting. Her name has been written in pen on a piece of tape on the honours board in the away dressing room. Sophie Eccleston has done the same for bowling in the home dressing room, and Kranti Gaud also on the away dressing room for her bowling. 3 around the bat then. It's Eccleston facing up, and the first ball of the day is from Sneh Rana. It's on the back foot, and she's on the stump straight away, is Sneh Rana.
That pitch is outside off stump and turns toward the stumps. It's really nicely bowled from Sneh Rana, setting the tone, setting the standard with the first ball of the day.
2 wickets to her name already. 2 for each of the bowlers, Satgare, Gaud and Rana. Rana is forward. Eccleston forward to Rana and defends. So keeping the forward silly point, short leg and slip in place. Risha Ghosh took a tremendous catch to get rid of Mani Villiers, and when it just stuck, didn't it, sort of straight into the knees, one of those reflex. You described it well, like Velcro.
It was, or like, do you know, like the bean bags that you throw through a hole and it just slam dunks in?
Rana over the wicket here. Eccleston into the ground and fielded by Rodrigues under the helmet there at short leg.
It was one of those catches that I watched on repeat quite a few times last night, still going, how on earth has that stuck?
How did it stick? Madi Villiers batted through 63 balls for 26. Rana in a little more air this time, beats Eccleston. A beautiful delivery taken by the keeper. Eccleston forward. And a swing of the bat and a miss.
Yeah, a ball that could have been left outside the off stump. This one doesn't turn back towards Eccleston. Had it have turned, I reckon she might have nicked that one.
Rana over the wicket again. Breezy day. Beaten again is Eccleston. Prodding forward defensively this time. 5-dot balls so far. And you can hear the Indian supporters, a lot of them in their blue shirts, on the bottom level of the grandstand, applauding their encouragement for Rana. There she's in again. Eccleston goes back this time and beaten once again. So a maiden. First up for Sneh Rana. 2 for 33, her figures were overnight. 130 for 6, England though.
I don't think that'll be the last maiden we see of the day. It could be quite a stale couple of hours.
Depends, doesn't it? Let's see how Amy Jones goes.
Yeah, hopefully it's
from England's point of view, they've got a whole day to try and bat out to save this match for a draw. It's a big ask with only 4 wickets in hand, but 100 overs must be bowled today if we're going the distance. England have not managed that the first innings. They didn't manage 60 overs. And we're into over 42 now. That's going to be bowled by Sayali Satgare from the nursery end. She bowled from the nursery end yesterday. She certainly opened from the pavilion end throughout the match so far. Amy Jones then, 52 not out and half century in both innings of this test match for Amy Jones, doing that as an England wicketkeeper as well. Short leg in place, 2 slips and the gully. So Satgare in, right arm over the wicket, full clipped off the pad to mid-wicket, and it's fielded, no run, clipped along the ground. Phil, good morning to you, Phil Long.
Good morning. Yeah, 50 in both innings for Amy Jones, the first wicketkeeper to do that in Test cricket. Been a good game for the wicketkeepers.
Yep, Yastika Bhatia as well,
and then
getting on the honours board.
Yeah, Risha Ghosh, wicketkeeper in the white ball format, snaffling a few good catches at short leg, silly point.
Got to help, doesn't it, having a sort of a wicket keeper in at short leg. I mean, that's Tammy Beaumont's history as well, isn't it, as a wicket keeper? She takes the short leg duties.
Buckets for hands.
Now, a conversation here between Satgare and Harmanpreet. They're getting another helmet, so they're going to put a second close catcher in around the bat here for Jones. They've got short leg, and now they're getting a forward short leg in place. Rodrigues has put the helmet on. It's more like a very short catching mid-wicket. So 2 slips, 2 catches under the helmet on the leg side. Satgare, right arm pace, bowls full, defence from Jones, and solid up to Harmanpreet at mid-on. Very calm presence at the crease, Amy Jones. A lot of the chat today, Alex, will undoubtedly be about just thinking ahead as well for this England team in particular. Of course, the 100 comes next, so not much of a gap between here and then straight back into the shortest form of the game. And then the next internationals against Ireland in September. Forward and the inside half of the bat up towards mid-on. Harmanpreet stoops to field, and there's no run. So it's really not until that Island series when we'll find out really what the direction of travel is in terms of Heather Knight's replacement.
Yeah, and I also think that Island series, I think a few of these senior girls will be rested as well. So a bit like when England played Ireland a couple of years ago, they took a second string 11.
Bat raised. Jones awaits for Satgaray. Angling into the right hand, worked up to mid-on again, and there's no run.
So it's where the likes of Hannah Baker, Caris Pavley, they both made their debuts.
Is that when Kate Cross captain?
Yeah, Maddie Villiers made her ODI debut there. Georgia Adams we saw over there. Holly Armitage. So it's like where are England going with these people? Are we going to see more of Caris Pavley? Yes, I think in an England show absolutely will. Davina Perrin, I think we'll see her more. Jemima Spence, wicket-keeper batter, someone to keep an eye on for.
Satgaray is in, going back and worked up towards mid-on again. Harmanpreet there to field, another dot ball.
And then Grucock bats 4 for Essex, so that she could be your Heather Knight replacement almost straight away for that series.
Although the last time when the Island series happened, was that in the lead up to the 2025
World Cup?
So
the World Cup squad were on a training camp.
Yeah. Whereas this time there is no other international cricket until February, which is the T20 Champions Trophy, isn't it? The back half of that month. Satgaray moves in, bowls outside the off stump to Jones. It's a drivable length. It's well fielded, extra cover in the deep, just the one. It was a well timed shot. And Zak Krantigord getting to her feet, threw herself to the ground. So a single off the last ball of the over, the first run of the day, 131 for 6 England. So is there an argument for saying, given that there isn't any more international cricket for the rest of the year, you still put out your strongest team because you're still working out, who's going to replace Heather Knight, the mechanics of it, and
yeah, but I just can't see Lauren Bell playing in that.
That's probably a fair call if she's already had a bit of a niggle here.
And then playing in the 100, I can't see her playing. I can't see Sophie Ecclestone playing. Tilly Courtine-Coleman, great opportunity for her. Will we see Charlie Dean play after captaining in the 100, or will she need a rest for her back as well? The likes of Freya Kemp-Gibson, they've had back problems. I would just rest them for that series.
Well, now Siva Brunt be bowling again through the 100. We'll find out.
I wonder if she'll bowl again.
Yeah. Right, Snow Rana from the pavilion end. Jones on strike still, on 53 after the single. Going back, a risky shot. Worked out to the deep. 2 fielders out in the deep at mid-wicket now. Goes through for 1. So Ecclestone and India a chance to try and snaffle. They want their 7th wicket and first of the day in pursuit of victory in this test match. 3 catches around the bat. Ecclestone stands back poised in the air. Rana is in, gives this one plenty of air. Drives only as far as extra cover though.
Plenty of air.
Plenty of air.
Full toss.
Too much air.
Yeah, we obviously saw Kira Chatley involved in the white ball series before the World Cup, but in this format we've got Ellie Threlkeld here as a backup keeper. So there are plenty of options for Charlotte Edwards and Nat Siva Brunt, Charlie Dean to go down.
Rana moves in, bowls slightly quicker ball to Ecclestone, gets a bat down to in front of the stumps, and it's there for Silly Point to chase back, pick up, tosses the ball back to Rana. Would you like to find a left-hander, I think, in this England lineup?
I think Grucock, having opened the batting against New Zealand, she's got to be the option.
In prime position. Rana in again. Ecclestone on the drive. Now that's ricocheted into the hand of Ghosh there at Silly Point. She's shaking her right wrist, but she's also unmoving with a bit of a grin on her face. She is hard as nails in that position.
Yeah, she keeps getting peppered, doesn't she? It's timed nicely. Straight into it. But yeah, Grucock isn't an opening batter, but they kind of need a right left hand at the top of the order.
Over the wicket again, Rana. Ecclestone on the drive again. Well, forceful shot, but it skews away off the outside edge. Running away towards wide, deep third, dribbling though to a halt. Enables Sharma to come back. Now they're going to run 3 here. Ecclestone's charging back to the pavilion end. And they have indeed run 3. So 135 for 6 at the end of the... No, one more ball to come here from Snow Rana. Eve Jones has been the top scorer, hasn't she, in the one-day competition?
I can't see her playing. Too old now.
You want a youngster in?
Yeah, I want someone that can play for the next 10 years. There's no point having someone that might play for 2 years.
Fair call. In comes Rana, last ball of the over. Jones sets herself, heeks it to mid-wicket and is out. Straight to the fielder. Sneh Rana's got her third. It's the first of the day. It's the one they wanted. Amy Jones, the last of the batters, has gone and she's out, having added just 2 to her overnight score. India celebrate. They've got England 135 for 7.
Well, Amy Jones just looking to hit the ball into mid-wicket. Hits the ball straight to mid-wicket. And time again, we see Amy Jones be out, caught mid-wicket, and we've seen it again, this time going back in her crease, pulling the ball into the leg side. It was a back-of-the-length delivery from Sneh Rana, turns down the hill, and a simple catch taken, and India are thinking, start the car.
Shafali Verma taking the catch, and so Jones is out for 54 from the 80 balls that she's faced. India now just need 3 more. So the first wicket falling inside the first 15 minutes of the day. There was a clatter inside the first 15 minutes of the day yesterday. India fans starting to make their voices heard as well now in the stands. We know that Jay Shah is here, the chair of the ICC. Sachin Tendulkar was out on the outfield chatting to the players before the start. Now there's somebody who's never had his name on the Lord's Honours board, Alex. So Yastika Bhatia strolls up for the first women's test match at Lord's for India.
Says this is how you
Gets
do it,
113. I wonder if... She wouldn't have said that to him, would she?
Why? I would have. I'd say it to Varney or someone that.
There's a number of big names in the men's game who are not on the honours board at Lord's, and not least from the India perspective. Sunil Gavaskar never managed it. Kohli, what's his highest score at Lord's, Phil? To have a look at.
Well, Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar never made 50s, never made Test 50s here.
It's remarkable.
Virat Kohli batted 6 times for highest score of 42. Sachin 9 times for a highest score of 37.
Well, you do know what they say, can they do it on a green top at Lord's?
That's it.
Clearly not.
Sakare has the ball in her hand then. Eccleston is on strike. The new batter is Izzy Wong. She's at the non-striker's end. 2 slips in place and 2 catches on the leg side in front of the bat. Forward, nicely played by Eccleston. That's a boundary through extra cover. Getting some runs on the board. She moves on to 8. Driver ball, just one fielder there at extra cover that she had to beat, and she got the ball square enough to easily fly down the slope towards the mound stand.
Yeah, a little half volley outside the off stump. Eccleston, a very capable batter, isn't going to miss out on those ones. I always think Eccleston hasn't quite lived up to her potential with the bat. I would have loved to have seen her by now be 6 or 7 for England. Proper all-rounder.
Yeah, get her up. We've seen in the one-day game how she can clear the rope when required. Again, looking to drive a fuller-length ball outside the off-stump, but fielded at point. Ricky Ponting also never got 100 at Lord's. There's a lot in the away dressing room. Rahul Dravid, what was his best at Lord's? I don't think he's on there either. These are some of the names when you do the old Lord's tour that...
Yeah, no MS Dhoni either. Yeah, there's a host of players who never made it. As you say, Yastika Bhatia rocks up. It's 113.
I wonder whether Sachin acknowledged that if he spoke to Yastika, the fact that it was something he never managed to do. He might have done. He's quite a sort of humble guy in that regard. Sakare in, straight at that time. Bat and pad close together. Eccleston was looking to angle it up towards mid-on or work it into the on-side. Instead, the inside outer half of the bat up towards mid-off.
I know he's seen as like a god in India, but you'd like to think people can still take the mick out of him.
Do you know, he sort of took the mickey out of himself a little bit when I hosted an event prior to the 2017 World Cup, and he was an ambassador for that tournament, and there was an event in the long room just before. So I'd done the welcome address, and you're at a lectern with a microphone on a stand. Pulling away is Eccleston here, so Sakare's going to have to start her run up again. So I had done my welcome, standing up, blah, 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 and I welcomed Sachin Tendulkar to the microphone. And he took several long seconds standing at the microphone with a slightly sort of cheeky, knowing look on his face. As Sakare moves in now, full straight, defended towards mid-off and no run. Adjusting the microphone down. by quite some distance from where I'd been, level with my head, to when Sachin came up to the microphone. So I did get a little ripple of a laugh from the audience assembled.
Very good.
Yeah. I've always actually found him, when I have had the chance to interview him, he's very normal. You know what I mean? When such a
This is what
sort of aura is around him.
Cricketers are human too,
Yes,
you know?
exactly, human beings. And goes Sakra outside the off stump. That one keeps low as it scoots through to the keeper. Eccleston tried to lay bat on it, bobbles as it arrives in front of Bhatia, the keeper. The score remains 139 for 7. I think there's so many people, you know, treat them as human beings, they respond to you back as human beings.
Have you ever been starstruck? Because I don't think I have.
In this job, you're sort of not allowed to be.
No.
I think there's times, certainly, when the old heart beats a little bit quicker with nerves. Turn towards mid-on. I know where you're going with that.
It's David Beckham for me, that one.
End of the over, 139 for 7. India have got that 1 wicket so far this morning. Amy Jones out for 54. Catch straight to Verma at mid-wicket off Rana. Do you know, it probably is people from other sports that you don't necessarily come across.
Yeah.
I interviewed Stephen Gerrard once, and because he's just somebody that you don't come across, you know that they don't necessarily know you or know your work in the same way that somebody in cricket is that you've perhaps, you know, you've met before, you've been on the scene for a long time. And so you're always sort of just doubly thinking, right, I need to make sure that I ask, you know, the right questions here and be ultra professional and all the rest of it.
And footballers do feel like they're that slightly more famous, or they are more famous, that level of...
But again, they are still human beings, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
absolutely just human beings. And I think, you meet them, you say hello, you chat, and they have to go to the supermarket and get their groceries as well. Well, maybe some don't. Over the wicket, forward, pressing Wong. Is yet to score, yet to face. That was her first ball. Pressing forward to Rana from the pavilion end. 3 wickets. If she can get 2 of these last 3, she will get her name on the honours board as well beneath Kranti Gord. Over the wicket comes Rana. Now struck on the pad. She's spreading her arms, but is it going down and missing? No more interest. Very quickly turning on her heel, heading back to her mark.
Yeah, going down that one, turning down the hill. Harmanpreet Kaur suggesting a little bit of bat involved as well.
There we go. So not much going for it.
No.
How many reviews have they got left? It's not up on the scoreboard at the moment. It's one thing I'm trying to remember how many they used yesterday. Rana coming in again. Over the wicket, bowls outside the off stump. I think that's into the ground, and then Risha Ghosh sticking out her right hand just to the side of the cut strip. Of course, Sachin Tendulkar has had a house near St John's Wood for a long time, so he would often just pop into Lords to do some net practice. Rana in, outside the off stump, left alone by Wong, into the hands of the keeper and no run.
Yeah, very quickly. Both teams have both got 3.
They've got
all 3 of their reviews left.
And I think Virat Kohli is now the one who pops into Lords occasionally, doesn't he? That he's got a place in West London. Settling over her bat, Wong. Awaits, in comes Rana. Blue sky, lovely day at Lords. Pressing forwards, Wong defensively, bat and pad close together.
Looking solid here, Izzy Wong. Getting into lovely positions, making sure that ball bounces in sort of that imaginary box in front of her so she can't be out bat pad.
Have you ever come across a celebrity, Alan, in an unexpected place? As Rana is in, down the leg side, that time turning down the slope and into the hands of the wicket keeper.
Well, my dad is a football agent, so I used to come down on a Saturday morning in my dressing gown, and be like making a bacon sandwich or a cup of tea, and I'd, slightly worse for wear, and there'd be a footballer on the kitchen table. I'd be like, fancy a cup of tea?
Sounds a bit like Claire Balding with her dad in the racehorse train. I think she came down to find like Her Majesty the Queen or something around the breakfast table one morning. But yeah, it's when you sort of go down into the supermarket and you do see someone down there, the banana aisle, and think, oh, hang on, but everyone has to do their daily duties.
Yeah.
Melissa Story's coming in to join you. India looking for 3 wickets to win this Test match, Melissa.
I bumped into Damian Lewis here at Lords before the 2017 World Cup final, who is one of my favourite actors, and just saw him in the shop. I said, oh, hi mate, how are you? Nice to see you. Because I recognised him.
Yeah, nice.
And he was like, yeah, good luck tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, who is that man? I know him, and why was that really awkward? And then it wasn't until I went home and put Homeland on, I was like, oh no, that was Damian Lewis.
Cranty Gowd then, from the nursery end, ball's full, it's nicked and dropped. Dropped by Sneh Rana at second slip, it was flying to her right. And an opportunity goes missing for India. Eccleston on 8, survives, but only just. It would have been a brilliant catch, Alex Hartley.
Yeah, it would have been a belter there from Sneh Rana. As you say, at second slip, to her right. She's actually been swapped out now by Deepti Sharma, who's just put her at first and she's gone to second, which seems a bit savage.
Well, she was involved in that rally catch to get Cranty Gowd her fifer in India's first innings, where she was unfortunately the one to drop it as full, and Eccleston drives down the ground, squeezes it past the bowl, and Harmanpreet Kaur collapsing over the boundary rope in front of us here at the nursery end. We'll keep it down to 3. And Izzy Wong back on strike, scored to 142 for 7. My best celebrity spotting, Kevin McLeod on a train going to London.
Nice.
Brilliant. Used to love Grand Designs growing up.
I've had a few where I've mistaken people.
Oh no. Cranty Gowd here to Izzy Wong, who's yet to get off the mark. And she's guiding this one towards Gully, fired in towards Yastika. Go on, who have you mixed up?
Well, it happens a lot, and I text Crossy being like, oh my word, I'm on a train with Hugh Grant. Oh my word, we're looking at each other. I'm looking at
the table.
I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and he's probably thinking, why is this girl looking at me?
Gowd full straight, kept out by Wong into the onside.
It already sounds like a rom-com, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I thought, this is it.
Did you feel like Bridget Jones?
I was like, this is amazing. I'm like, Hugh Grant. So I'm texting all my mates, Hugh Grant's on the train. Like, what's he doing from Manchester to London? You know, we might just be a classy man and love the environment. Me and Hugh Grant sat next to each other on the train. Literally next to each other on the train. I took a little picture when he was asleep.
Cranty Gowd into Izzy Wong. Lets that one go through to Yastika for no run.
Because everyone's like, prove it. I'm like, here's Hugh Grant, he's asleep. It was Rob Brydon from Gavin and Stacey. Still quite cool.
Still great, you got a photo of him sleeping.
Yeah, well then...
Bit creepy.
Yeah, everyone was like, do not put that online. So yeah, it wasn't Hugh Grant, and I was then disappointed.
Disappointed by Uncle Bryn. Come on. Gowd to Wong. Solid in defence, back down the pitch. 46 overs gone. England still trail 315 more runs needed. And Izzy Wong yet to get off the mark. Batting alongside Sophie Eccleston with 5 wickets in that third innings, Phil.
Amy Jones, only wicket to fall this morning, out for 54. As we mentioned earlier, the first wicketkeeper to score 2 50s in a test match. Wicketkeepers, as we said, have also had a good game in this test. 231 runs they scored between them across their 4 innings. That's a record in women's tests. It's not a record in women's internationals, though. That record's 235 runs. England versus South Africa Hove in 2018. Who were the 2 wicketkeepers?
Sarah Taylor?
Yeah, and?
In comes Sneh Rana. The ball driven past Silly Point towards cover.
Chetty.
Lizelle Lee. Sarah Taylor made 118, Lizelle Lee made 117.
What happens if you're playing?
Sneh Rana side the off stump. Gentle movement in towards the right-handed Eccleston, who's in defence again.
Let's say against the West Indies last summer, and Amy Jones gets 100, and Tammy Beaumont gets 100, who's also a wicketkeeper. Does that count, or does it have to be two? Oh, okay, it has to be active.
Has to be active wicket-keeping. Sneh Rana to a defending Eccleston, sets off for the single, we'll get there. veering all over the pitch as she makes her way to the non-striker's end. Probably thinking, well, it's the final day of the test. I'll run up and down this wicket. You're not going to mind. 143 for 7. I mean, otherwise a player could be like, well, in case you didn't know, I was the keeper in under-13 Staffordshire, so... Rather straighter delivery. Wong defends. In a passage of play here, which is probably slightly against both of these players' nature. They like to play aggressive shots. They're going to have to rein that in here in terms of England's survival. There's a deep lunge from Wong, defending the ball into the hands of Silly Point.
I kept once.
Did you? How did it go?
I was scared.
What age were you?
About 15.
Reasonable to be scared.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it.
Snow Rana into Wong. Defends on the front foot. And that's the end of the 47th over. 143 for 7. England need 314 runs. Did you have to stand up to the stumps?
No, I didn't mind the bowlers because I could stand back and let it roll to me. So I didn't mind that. I could stand as far back as I wanted.
How far back were you?
Oh, yeah. But then it was when the fielders are throwing it at you as hard as they can.
Well, that cheer you can hear around Lord's is for, well, Sachin Tendulkar making his way out front of the Lord's Pavilion.
I think Jay Shah's like, oh, it's not for me, that one.
Or he does that embarrassing thing like where you wave at someone thinking it was for you and it's someone behind you. Do you reckon he gets a bit tired of being the one asked to take a photo of people with Sachin? And he just really wants to be in the photo. Driving past the outside edge of Eccleston's bat through to Yastika as Kranti Goud continues here. It's a bit like when I walk around the ground with you, Al. I become a professional photographer for about 5 minutes. Yeah, would you like a photo of Alex Hartley? Should we form a queue? And I'll just stand there and... I'm like one of those tour guides when you go to Bali and they get everyone lined up and bam, 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 next, bam, bam, bam.
Go, go, go.
Do all the angles. Do a little zoom in video.
I can't even see where they're sat. In the pavilion somewhere.
Goud, full straight, driven through the covers by Eccleston, who squeezed that one out. It's threatening the stumps. And it won't go away for 4 runs. A slightly fragmented fall to the boundary rope there for Sri Charani. He went down to the ground there and almost different freeze frames, but did manage to keep the ball in within the rope. So another 3 runs for England, 146 for 7. You'd hope he was in the pavilion. I'm not sure making Sachin sit in the crowd will do too good for him. Wong defends. Still yet to get off the mark. She's faced 14 balls now and very disciplined in her approach.
But I think the first time you ever sit in the crowd, someone like Sachin, you're going to get mobbed and people want pictures and you might be there for a couple of hours. The more you do it, the more normal it becomes.
I'm not sure with Sachin. It will be a bit like when you're in the Hollies stand at Edgbaston and someone's dressed up as an inflatable pig and everyone else is the butchers. I think you'd just get chased around the grandstand the whole day. Pushed back to Gown and a follow through.
But if he was just to go in the stand and sit down,
that's what I mean.
It's so unlikely. People would be going, that guy looks like Sachin Tendulkar. You wouldn't believe it was him, would you?
Do you think it'd be like that bloke who looks like Gareth Southgate?
Or that guy that looks like Hugh Grant, the actor.
Just got to hope he doesn't nod off in the sun, otherwise he'll be down snapping a photo of him. Left alone through to Yastika. Do you often do that when you
get people mixed up?
I just meant to take pictures of people when they're sleeping.
No. But when I think it's Hugh Grant, of course I'm going to take a picture.
Was it quite an angelic sleeping? Because there's a few approaches on the train you've got to do. If you've got the window seat, you can lean on the side, can't you? But if you're stuck in the aisle...
Asleep, so I fully put the camera in his face.
0.5.
Goud strikes Wong on the pad, a bit of inside edge potentially, either way going down the leg side. No interest from umpire Harris. It's another over gone, 146 for 7. England require 311 runs. Alex Hartley's going to take a break. And a reminder, there's plenty of live cricket across the BBC this week. Tomorrow, the first ODI between England's men and India at Edgbaston is on 5 Live Sports Extra from 10:45. Then on Wednesday, we've got T20 Blast quarter-finals from 4:30 p.m. Thursday, the second one-day international from Cardiff. It keeps coming. Friday, Women's T20 Finals Day, League One. Saturday, it's T20 Blast Finals Day for the men. And then on Sunday, a third men's one-day international from Lords. So if you've got any social plans this week, but you're a cricket fan, cancel them immediately. Make sure you're tuning in across the week. Catherine Sciver-Brunt is back with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
UK. Can't complain about the weather. It's actually quite satisfying today. Got a lovely
nice
breeze.
It's driving as Eccleston past Silly Point towards extra cover.
I feel like I've just baked like a rotisserie chicken for about 2 weeks. So I'm feeling less crispy and more baked. No, that's still
A bit overcooked.
No, I'm feeling fresh today. I'm a refrigerated chicken today.
Drives towards mid-off. It's not often you
We've
greet
lost the plot a little bit, haven't we?
best ever fast bowler who immediately greets you by the sensation she feels like a rotisserie chicken. But not anymore.
No, good day. Oi.
Eccleston goes back to a ball she probably shouldn't have. It just evades the stumps, and Snow Rana, hands on her head, a big grin on her face. We'll be thinking, you've got slightly lucky there, and Eccleston knows it. She's smiling too. This angle coming around the wicket, just forcing Eccleston to play a few more, and that one just went on with the angle. Kept a bit low.
Yeah, I think obviously the main cause of a wicket here is going to be short leg, isn't it? Or, you know, she's taking quite a lot out of it from this angle.
It's Rana flights this one up, and Eccleston pushes it into the covers, sets off for a bit of a single, almost like a jockey jump backwards and forwards into the crease as Izzy Wong at the non-striker's end, quite down there, you imagine.
Yeah, there's footholds there, but none for Rana to hit that would trouble anybody.
Bless you to whoever that was. Pushed past Silly Point, and Richa Ghosh there stuck out her left leg instinctively. We saw that brilliant catch of hers yesterday when the ball driven straight into her hands, and she kept in such a strong position.
She's seen the light and she's coming back over the wicket.
Final ball of this over. It's defended by Eccleston, who now sets off for the run. Will get the run. England's score ticks along to 147 for 7. Eccleston retains the strike, and England still require 310 runs to win.
Doable. That is funny, isn't it? I mean, of course it's doable. It's just it would be the biggest miracle the world's ever seen.
How would you have prepared yourself to go in a situation like this?
I think at this point, because the task is so mammoth, you're more going in and you've just got to think small. It would have been way more ideal to go in as a lower order batter, as in just, I'm here to support Amy to her milestone. And then if that happens, you're like, oh, I've got 25 at this point when
Maybe
Amy's
I
reached
can get
100.
to a milestone.
Maybe I can get a 50. And you just sort of take it in small chunks and don't let the sort of enormity of it overwhelm you. So these guys, we have those chats in the changing room, don't we, where we're like, oh, we deserve to be up the order a bit. And we're great. You know, watch this. Watch me bat for 3 hours. And you just sort of have fun with it in that way, where you just want to walk back up being like at first or second leading run, and just to rub it in a few top orders' face.
Goud is into Eccleston, edges it, and it flies out of the hand of Yastika. She was diving to her right. She's still down on the floor. It went quick. But nonetheless, Eccleston's second life this morning goes away for 4 runs to rub salt in the wounds, and England bring up their 150.
Yeah, as you can imagine, the keepers, especially on this surface where the bowlers aren't that tall and the pitch isn't creating that much bounce, the keepers are a lot closer, so the reaction time is a lot less. So Yastika just short on time, but also slightly wrong-footed. Keepers always slightly guilty of taking one left step, one marginal left step, and if they do, it's then a bit of a struggle from there to push off enough.
And the delivery was angled in at the stumps and just nipped away. So
she saw that. Yasti saw that the whole way. So there's not really a question of that. It was more that she wrong-footed herself.
Scoud searching for a wicket here, is guided towards backward point by Eccleston.
And they've got their first slip in a very good position. Deepti Sharma's normally in the slips. I think Shafali Verma's somehow worked her way in there. And so they're very tight. The first slip is very tight to the keeper. So the angles are great. But obviously if the keeper's diving full length, it's, you know, and it's obviously not going to carry as far as Shafali at first. So the right thing to do is just one of those things.
Goud cut outside the off stump, driven away for 4 runs. And that has been crunched by Eccleston, who's certainly not going to hold back when she sees a full wide half volley.
I love that. She struck it and then looked away immediately and started readjusting her gloves. She knew
this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it smashed the middle of the bat, square drive all the way across the square. So she knew down the hill there was no need to run.
The thing is with Sophie Eccleston is she's always been an incredibly competent batter who has a great array of strokes, and you almost feel sometimes that she's never quite shown that full potential owing to sometimes the opportunities.
But you know the reason why as well as I do. It's in the mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you can't buy or train the temperance of Nat Sivabrunt, Heather Knight, you know, Tammy Bowman. It's hard.
She defends. A good length delivery from Goud.
I reckon the only sort of things that she could work on, or the things that could hold her back, is she's really strong in that mid-wicket area, right? But it is more the offside game and working on her slow balls, but it's picking length mainly. So picking length and being able to get on the back foot sharply to play those spinners, and that's what the other batters are world class at. And I guess it's just time on task. As a lower order batter, you never get half as much time in the nets as the top order.
Scoud into Eccleston, leg stump line, defends. I think the other thing being as well that you mentioned that picking of length, the better a player you get in the women's game in particular, the lower levels you play, you get a lot of fuller length bowling. So a lot of players are more confident on that front foot, but it's working that back of a length delivery off your hip when it's angled in towards your body. Or
well, it's those, you know, when they say, oh, they're not sure whether to go forward or back, so you bowl the ball in that no man's land.
Scoud, final ball of her over. It's driven by Eccleston up towards mid-off, end of the over. 50 gone, 155 for 7. England need 302 more runs.
So when the ball's sort of in that area, depending where you're playing in the world, like you can trust a lot of surfaces here. In Australia, you tend to go back and sort of play that right under the eyes with an open left leg and sort of work that into the leg side. Whereas, obviously in India, you might get forward and right into the box. And it's being able to know those sorts of things, but being able to do it instinctively is really hard too. And obviously in the game you've got 6 foot Sophie, and then you've got 4 foot Sneh Rana. See, there's so many obviously layers to it. But if you're not up there practicing it against the best in the world consistently, and you're not getting the practice time, it's sort of hard for that to come on to you. In quick time, it takes years.
So often Eccleston as well has so few deliveries to face at the end of an innings that she doesn't have that time to settle in, as Wong keeps out a Yorker from Sneh Rana, kills it dead on the spot right by her feet.
There's another element to it as well, and it's been taken seriously. So she's somebody that doesn't take herself seriously. Certainly other people don't take her seriously, and so when you're labelled a lower order bat, you're a tail ender, and so you're not supposed to be able to bat. Do you know what I mean? It's that label.
Left alone outside the off stump by Wong, who emphasises the lunge forwards.
This doesn't suit Wong at all, does it? I'd rather see her doing a bit more of a natural game. Like she's made a couple of leaves at the minute where I've thought yesterday they'd be out.
And so far, until this point, Eccleston's been trying to just harvest the strike so that she can face as many deliveries as possible, as Wong faces up to Snow Rana. Her off spin again, leaves that one alone.
There's no way on earth I would not have tried to smash that through extra. It was this half volley about 4 stumps wide.
She's almost playing 2 within her shell now, as you say. Just you can play that.
Yeah, exactly.
Creeping in again as Rana gives that one some air. So much air, in fact, that it's a full toss on the leg stump, and Izzy Wong has patted it back like the most delicate of creatures when her natural game is to probably try and hit that over the rope.
Stand. Like, show me your defensive without showing me your defensive. That ball said everything.
Rana bowls a quicker one, and it strikes Wong on the pad, who doesn't offer a shot.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a word here between Sophie Eccleston and Izzy Wong, because she's lost the pot a little bit. Like, first ball, obviously the slope's coming down. You're not going to necessarily leave many balls from the off spinner, right? So you need to be playing a shot, for one. For two, when you get a half volley and it's a genuine half volley with no one on the other side, you're going to smack it, right? Because you need to put them under some pressure.
You can't
and
just
then
let
third,
them bowl
if you're
at
in
you.
that mindset where you're purely defensive, you get a full toss like that, you're probably going to get out to it because you're plotting it back to short leg.
Just coming around the wicket for the final ball of this over. Angled bat past short leg, and Wong gets her first run. Cheers of the crowd there, but it does mean she steals the strike for the next over.
Yeah.
So 51 gone, England 156 for 7. 301 more runs required. Phil Long, a word from you, and then it will be Stephen Finn.
Here's the kind of thing that gets scorers excited. In the first innings, Izzy Wong scored her first run off the 23rd ball she faced, and in the second innings she scored her first run off the 23rd ball she's faced.
Ooh,
We love numbers, don't we? We love numbers.
And then it was probably the wrongest one ever, because now Izzy's on strike to face Cranty, who is warmed up, and also bowling consistently at the stump. So she just I can just see her trying to do one of them leaves right now, and I'm gonna revert back into myself.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Now, I think there has been a bowling change, and it's Sri Chirani that is going to be taking up the attack from the nursery end. She will be bowling to Izzy Wong, who has 1 from 23. We'll have to settle in against the new bowler here as Chirani comes through the umpire and around the wicket and is in to Wong, who goes back and defends into the onside towards mid-wicket.
Yeah,
There's no run.
That was a small Steve Smith notion with the bat, wasn't it?
As long as she doesn't shout, "No run!"
No run!
We'll be okay.
Well, I think it's coming. 20 more balls.
Yeah.
She's up for it.
Strike rate of, what's that? Strike rate of 5, is it?
She'll be furious. She loves to get on with it. So this is actually hard to watch for me.
Chirani is in. Around the wicket again, back of a length, and Wong defends back down the pitch to the bowler. The field, there's a slip, a silly point and a short leg. There's now a catching mid-wicket. That fielder was on the boundary the previous delivery, but Wong's intent is clear to defend and try and make this innings last as long as possible. A mid-on, mid-off, extra cover, square cover and a backward point as Chirani is in from the nursery end. Bowls fuller this time, and Wong prods forward and defends towards short leg, who Jemima Rodrigues sprawling in there, manages to stop it. 156 for 7.
Those first 3 balls were have been right on the money. All 3 in about middle and leg, really asking some questions with those 2 short fielders, testing her defence.
Chirani's in, full this time, and Wong defends back down the pitch, firmly this time, back to the bowler. No run. That's been a sign of India's cricket, actually, all the way through this test match. They've just been on it, haven't they? Right from the very moment that they've been asked to do something.
It's like their discipline's gone to another level. It's just really been on it.
Sharani is down the leg side this time, and Wong does look to tickle it round the corner, but plays and misses. There's no run. 5 balls gone, 5 dots. Wong 1 from 27, 28 now.
She's probably never been in this mode her whole life. She's probably literally learning on the job here.
Feels like a net to
And
her.
no senior player at the other end to talk to or help her through it, but
We're not calling Eccleston a
No.
senior player.
I mean,
Sharani is in. And
I'll change my
defended-
line.
Defended by Wong.
Senior
Into silly point, no run.
batswoman.
Yes,
I'll give you that.
I know what you
Very senior player, seasoned batter, able to. I mean, we've not seen Sophie. How many times have we seen Sophie have to do this?
Yep.
Probably less than a handful. So, both in, new territory, figuring it out. I'd love to mic them up and see what they're talking about in the middle. But I would just encourage Sophie to tell her, as you've seen me, Izzy, when there's been a loose ball, just tuck into it. You're not never going to get any blame for that, ever. That's like something that is free to you.
Well, and actually committing to that, I think, makes your body get into a better position to defend as well.
Absolutely.
Because you're more decisive with your foot movement. Now there's another change. Deepti Sharma is going to be bowling from the pavilion end.
It's a good bowling change there. I know they're keen to get Sneh on the board, but you've got to think about the game at some point.
Yeah, but Deepti Sharma, so experienced, is in over the wicket to Sophie Eccleston. Tickled round the corner towards deep backward square leg. Now Eccleston has set off as if she wants to, but Issy Wong puts the hand up and says, no, this is my time to shine. So Eccleston moves on to 25. England 157 for 7.
If you had another fielder to lob in there as an off spinner, where are you putting them?
Well, that fielder catching round the corner is always one that interests me, especially when you've got so many runs to play with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Attack.
I'm with
like,
you. I would throw them straight in there. Even obviously, it's just happened and it looks like you're following the ball. It is appropriate, especially if you're bowling 2 straight.
But you've got so many runs to play with. You might as well have catches.
And you can bowl round. Same thing.
Agreed. Deepti is in, and this is down the leg side. And Wong leaves it alone, almost trying to pad it away.
I love it.
It was unconventional.
It's like kitchen cricket in a backyard with the little tiny bats that you get from a shop.
Yep, one hand, one bounce. I mean, Jemima Rodrigues is right under the nose of Issy Wong at silly point as Deepti Sharma's in again, slower and shorter, and defended off the back foot towards a leaping Rodrigues at silly point, no run.
Yeah, I mean, there's an Ashes series coming up, isn't there? And the only difference between this and that coming up will be the verbal.
Yes. Who would be the most verbal in that Australian team?
Well, Alyssa Healy was the most verbal by an absolute country mile, but...
Deep over the wicket. Is prodding forward, Wong, it misses, and it's hit the pad, and there's a big appeal. And I think Deepti Sharma's interested here. Missed the inside edge, I think. And there's now a meeting of minds in the middle of the pitch where Deepti Sharma is trying to implore her captain to send it upstairs.
We don't have the best view from up here, do we? Obviously.
No.
But if I had to guess, would you say outside the line?
I think it's either outside the line, or if it has hit her inside the line, there's a good chance it's going down, because it looked like that ball turned to me.
Yeah.
We're slightly blinded by the fact that we're at the nursery end of the ground. Deepti is bowling from the pavilion end. I'd say it's close.
That's worth a shout.
Yeah.
Phil is showing me 3 fingers, which tells me they've got 3.
Deepti in and bowled. Issy Wong's defences are breached. And Deepti Sharma is on the board in this innings, her first. And India's relentless bowling has made the breakthrough again. They've been so disciplined in this test match. And Issy Wong's rear guard is over. Well bowled.
Yeah, I mean, Sneh Rana's obviously their front line off spinner, but in my personal opinion, Deepti is the better bowler. She has more variations in pace that are more massed, and just sliding that through a little bit quicker. And it was only a matter of time before they took the ball from Sneh. She had a good run. She had a chance to sort of get that honour, get herself on the honours board, but a really good bowling change from the captain. I think one she might have preferred earlier. But
what about those 2 balls got her the wicket? Because the ball before turned in, and then Issy Wong played
for turn.
Yeah,
absolutely well set up. That's Deepti Sharma for you. She's well seasoned in T20 cricket. That's her preference, but then that means she has all the tools coming into this.
Yeah, very skillful bowling there. It was a big spinning delivery that hit the pad of Wong, and then playing for that turn, played completely the wrong line. Skids past the outside edge, knocks the off stump back. And here we go, 157 for 8. England. Sophie Ecclestone is on 25 not out, and she's been joined by a grinning Lauren Bell here.
She's laughing her head off the whole way to the middle. I feel that's more of a nervous facial than I'm really happy to be here right now.
Yes.
We'll see how she goes, because there's not going to be any big swings, even though you'd think at this point, let's do that. There's definitely going to be a farming of strike from Sophie, if she can remember at this point. But with Lauren and that oblique injury, I wonder how she'll go about this. Certainly wouldn't want to see her trying to launch anything.
No, big slugs across the line are not the order of the day here. As Lauren Bell takes guard, facing Deepti Sharma, who's over the wicket again from the pavilion end, and it's defended by Lauren Bell solidly with a big stride back to the bowler, who collects in her follow through, and that's the end of her first over this morning, Phil. Yes, 1 for 17, Deepti Sharma.
It's a good ball to welcome her to the crease anyway. Good tester, right on the money. Good length, turned a little bit. That's not the one that we're looking at, but it was exactly that, but maybe turned slightly more, and Lauren dealt with it quite well. I mean, when you've got God knows how many feet legs,
yes,
you should be able to get out and smother
the length, can't you? Yes, certainly. Just the skill of Deepti Sharma there to bowl what you would call up and over the top, the delivery before, where the seam's rotating diagonally and it turns and bounces.
Where
and
the wrist goes faster, but the ball, it stays, it's sort of like, so that with the arm and the wrist appears to come through quicker.
Yes, and then the ball loops up out.
It's just like bowling when we bowl off cutters or whatever.
Yes, making sure you finish everything off.
Everything's fast, but the ball itself stays behind.
But then the ball after, undercutting it almost, so the seam is rotating.
It's almost like you've got to work your wrists more.
Yes.
Like almost flick it more.
And that one skidded through. It really was skillful
it's
bowling.
So deceptive.
Yes.
I've had Gareth Breeze, my spin bowling coach, so I'm like, stop it! Just can't pick it.
Now, Sneha Rana has been brought back into the attack to try and take these final 2 wickets, and she's into Ecclestone, who drives nicely out towards a deep cover fielder, and they've taken the single, so the farming of the strike is not happening. Ecclestone on to 26, England to 158 for 8. Sneha Rana has 3 for 41 with 2 wickets to take.
Yeah, so it seems they've obviously just used Sri as a matter of getting Rana to change ends. Fair enough. She's not had much of an involvement, Sri Chani, this test, but favouring Rana from this end, she must have just fancied a little. Obviously nothing was happening for her at that end, so a good change of ends. But nice to see Sophie still taking that positive approach.
Yes. Committed to the shot,
And she's given her 5 balls to the face, but she feels she's solid.
Well, how will Bell get on? Rana in, left alone outside the off stump with a big exaggerated lean onto the front foot, watching that one go past.
I swear to God, like, this is the first. What you're seeing is this has never she's never had to be in this situation, not even in a warm-up. This is completely alien for Lauren.
Rana to Bell. Beats the outside edge, good bowling, and a little second stutter step as the wicketkeeper threatened to take the bails off as she took that, and very close to the outside edge.
Many people watching or listening will know that. She's never been in this situation before.
Got to survive. Rana over the wicket from the nursery end, defended into the onside by Lauren Bell. Solid contact and met with a round of applause.
How many tests has Lauren played? Was it
well,
it's a handful,
she's never played. She's never made double figures.
No, South Africa. I remember watching her out in.
But at the test at the MCG, she was not out of 30 balls.
Oh, solid.
Here we go. She's got form. Bell faces up and defends into the gully region. There's no run.
I feel like when I watched that one in South Africa, it was less about surviving. It's rare that you find yourself in a pure survival mode and less about just scoring freely.
Rana to Bell, who defends back down the pitch.
What's your most... Because we had a Laura Marsh once, bad. It was something like she got 7 off 250 balls. I'm not... Phil can give me the stats on that.
There was a 50 off 300 balls for Laura as well. Is that the innings? Yeah, 50 off 300 odd balls.
It was the most bizarre thing ever.
But it won you the Ashes, right?
It did. I think the thing that made it's the ball never came off the square, did it? It was.
Oh, the wagon wheel.
It's like she was possessed for hours.
Yeah, well,
Oh
I
my
had
God.
one instance. So there were a few times where I batted with a top order batter, and you just had to survive to get them to 100. I did that with Moeen Ali and Matt Pryor,
Yeah.
and there was someone else in there where you have to bat for like 2 hours to try and drag them through to 100.
I enjoyed those moments.
Yeah, and you're there to share that
And
moment with them as well.
It just makes you creep up to
Yep.
the 20s and that.
Deepti Sharma into Eccleston, who turns this into the onside. Now, the first one is being run quickly. Both batters think about the second, but they don't go for it. So again, off the first ball of the over, Sophie Eccleston takes one. She moves on to 27. England to 159 for 8, and now Bell will look to survive for 5 deliveries. Well, I scored 56 off 208 balls, I think it was,
Nice.
against New Zealand. Deepti Sharma to Lauren Bell, defending, thick outside edge, goes down into the ground to Gully. No run. But finally, after 208 balls, I thought I was in. So I hadn't played an
You ought to
attacking
be.
shot for 207 balls. On my
Yeah.
208th, I tried to play a big slog sweep.
Nice.
Deepti to Bell. Nudged into the onside, round the corner. There's a short fine leg there, waiting. I think that fielder at short fine
is
leg could be
absolutely
catching.
missing.
Yeah.
That's the second one as well in
Yeah.
2 overs, so
Yeah.
a bit of a conversation going on maybe here. Maybe Harmanpreet is coming into that backward short leg position.
Yeah, it looks like that's
Short fine leg, if you like, call it what you like.
leg slip, I'd call that.
Yeah. Well,
Oh no, she's going.
she'd have to put the lid on for that business. That would be extremely dangerous.
Oh no, she's just
Is
moved
that
herself
just
to first
literally
slip.
a change of fielder?
Deepti Sharma into Lauren Bell, defending solidly. Back to the bowler.
I say that because I wouldn't expect it to go close enough to be a slip, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. That would be a much preferred position rather
Feels
than giving
like it,
yourself
doesn't
a
it?
little for the filthy short one.
Deepti bowled through the gate. The turn does it. And Deepti Sharma is accelerating things here at Lord's. Lauren Bell pushing forward, beaten on the inside edge. The stumps rattled, and Sharma has her second. England 159 for 8.
Yeah, I think the way that she started both of those overs, Sophie Eccleston, it's almost like the position of the game wasn't really in the front of her mind, where if there is a run that presents itself on the first ball of the over, it's obviously not the best thing to do to get yourself off strike and make them face who we would say has looked their most dangerous this morning. So not the best decision from Sophie. I mean, Lauren did what she could, and Deepti was just too good. Through the gate again, almost identical to the previous wicket.
Very good. Well, thank you, Catherine. Phil Long, can you give us some numbers of some sort as I vacate and Henry Moran comes in to take us to what feels like a relatively quick conclusion in this game?
Yeah, England staring at their second heaviest defeat in terms of runs in Test matches. Their heaviest defeat was the last time they played India at the D.Y. Patel Stadium in Navi Mumbai, when they lost by 347 runs. At the minute, they're 297 behind. Not looking good, Henry.
No, and it's rather gone the way we thought it might. A bit of resistance and ultimately subsiding in this morning session. So, while it has been an admirable effort, particularly from Sophie Eccleston on 27, it is not necessarily going to be one that is going to take us much beyond the next few minutes.
Anisha's just sat down next to you, and I was waiting for Anisha. We were talking about famous people we'd met. I was going to tell the other two, but I thought it would go over their heads. I met Salman Khan at an airport once.
Wow, okay, the Bollywood actor.
Yeah, I was very impressed. He was very nice to me as well. But the odd thing was, I started talking to him, so I recognised him. And as I mentioned, with other people possibly not recognising Sachin Tendulkar, or not thinking that can't be him, when I said morning Salman, suddenly people descended on him. It sort of ruined his time at the airport. But yeah, that's probably my favourite one.
That's pretty good, Phil, to be fair.
Yeah, and he did feature in a film which had cricket as a subplot, and in that cricket match, the umpire was, guess who? A dog.
Sorry?
Hum Aapke Hai Kaun, do watch it. And the name of the dog was Stuffy.
Well, there we go. Right. Things you don't expect to hear. There's one. So the two sides, or at least the India side and this England final pair, are gathering together for drinks in the middle, and we're just potentially one ball away from what would be a momentous moment for Indian cricket. How will they celebrate this win, Anish?
They will have a fair bit of a party happening in the dressing room first off, given how this iconic venue has come about when it comes to being a part of the women's cricket narrative. So plenty of time to be spent here. I'm pretty certain they wouldn't rush off the field or the stadium immediately. And later in the day, I have a feeling they'll go out to some Indian restaurant and treat themselves generously. And tomorrow I know several players are flying out fairly early, so it won't be a late night for them.
No, and presumably some will be staying for the 100.
4 of them: Smriti Mandhana, Deepti Sharma, Richa Ghosh and Jemimah Rodrigues.
Lovely. So they'll be here. They'll be sticking around as we see the two sides. Well, from England's point of view, concluding a test match that has been a disappointing one on the field, but ultimately, as an occasion, it's been superb. Lauren Filer to the middle then, England's last batter. Sachin Tendulkar alongside Jay Shah getting, well, Sachin is, he's doing a selfie. No, he's not. He's showing some pictures, presumably some holiday snaps or something, on the phone or whatever else it might be. But Lauren Filer comes to the middle, and from a batting history point of view, Phil, he's not somebody you necessarily expect a huge amount from, I don't think.
No, just looking at longest innings, her longest innings is 45 balls faced for England, highest score of 14.
Okay, well, player coming in 11, Lauren Filer. England 159 for 9. And how was that missed? Deepti Sharma has her hands on her head and can't quite believe that that's not the end of the game, but it isn't. England remain on 159 for 9, chasing 4, 5, 7. And there's a smile on the face of Eccleston and Filer. Let's have a look at that. It's full delivery, and it's missed that off stump by maybe 2 inches, something like that.
Incredible delivery.
Yeah, I think another positive to take from the whole experience has been the run rate in this game, which has been a smidgen under 3.5. It was slightly above 3.5 this morning. England have been batting slightly slow in order to try and save this test match. But yeah, the run rate in this test, 3.46, meaning that that's the 5th highest, and all 5 of those highest run rates have come in the last 3 years.
Well, it's going to be straight Charity with the left arm spin, bowling, and played back towards her by Eccleston, who's been impressive actually, 27 from 40 balls. Shown good resilience. Amy Jones's dismissal rather told us that we weren't going to make it until the scheduled lunch at 1 o'clock, I think it was fair to say. So when she was out for 54, I think we knew the writing was on the wall pretty quickly. Next delivery is, big appeal for LBW, no. And Shrey Charity made the signal to go upstairs. I think it might have been a little leg side-ish, but we will have a bit of a look. But no, Harmanpreet Kaur eager to go upstairs to James Middlebrook, and we will have a little look at this.
There would be something poetic about Sri Charani, who's gone wicketless so far in this match, taking the final wicket.
We have a player's appeal review for LBW. I've checked the feet fair delivery. Original decision is not out. Can we go to front on, please?
Well, this first angle will tell us a reasonable amount. Oh, it's not far away. I think that's probably umpire's call.
Just go through to ultra edge, please.
Would be my guess.
Keep going, play it through. Flat line, flat line. Satisfied there's no bat involved, can we go through to ball tracking?
So here we go, ball tracking in due course will tell us the answer as to whether this women's test match has come to an end or whether England will live to fight on a little longer. 159 for 9 at the moment. It's Eccleston on strike, and the way that India are actually
ball tracking to load.
Sort of heading away and back to their fielding positions tells me that they don't think this is out.
Impact in line. Wickets, umpire's call.
There we go. Umpire's call.
Field, please.
But it was very umpire's call. It was just the outer half of the ball, the very, very edge of the ball, clipping the very edge of leg stump. So that is why I think Anna Harris can feel that, yeah, I got that one probably just about right. There was enough doubt there. So Shrey Charity will try again to get her first wicket of the match. A slip, a gully, a short leg, silly point, and in comes Charity now, bowling to Eccleston, who chops down upon it and will get at least one, sprints hard for the first, turns for the second, and has run that really well. I think that's a part of her game recently that Sophie Eccleston has really improved, actually, is the ability to push not just herself in the field, but also running between the wickets. She's somebody who is a very capable batter. I think, actually should be probably averaging a little more than she does.
And she was aspiring to be that bowling all-rounder like KSB, Catherine Silva-Brunt.
Forward comes Eccleston very solidly to push the ball up towards wide, long off, no run. Maybe next ball she'll think about trying to steal a single and keep the strike.
She's given a fine account of herself as Sophie Eccleston with the bat in hand, with wickets stumbling around her.
Here comes Charity round the wicket. Eccleston will punch down the ground for one, and Filer on strike will have one ball to face at the end of the over. 161 for 9. England need 296 for a victory that I think it is fair to say at this point feels unlikely. India will be celebrating as they did at Wormsley in 2014, albeit in rather different surrounds. Charity bowls. Oh, that is almost the most marvellous catch at silly point from Rishi Ghosh, who has already taken one absolute stunner in this game that you can watch on the highlights on the iPlayer. So you can't put anything past her. 161 for 9 is the score.
She's been quite the revelation, Henry, as a short leg and a silly point fielder, and that catch you were talking about. It's one of the greatest catches ever in all cricket, I feel.
Oh, that is a big call. Do you
Can that be bettered?
Well,
in that position, at the very least.
In that position, I think, because we've seen ones, because at short leg, you see ones that pop up and you get the spectacular leaps and dives when people have got a bit more time but a bit more ground to make up. But in terms of pure reaction, well, the only thing I would say is she knew nothing about it. So while it is an amazing catch, how much skill involved, I don't know. Deepti Sharma to Sophie Eccleston, pushing down the ground, though, run. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
There is possibly a degree of, well, I suppose, fortune about it.
Serendipity, yes. I do agree.
Deepti Sharma moving it again from the far end of the ground is in, bowls, and it's played past that short leg fielder as we see India striving for this final wicket. With, I think it's fair to say, Deepti Sharma looking ever threatening, targeting the stumps statistically 56% of the time, apparently more than anyone else in this game. She's in now, and that is just outside the off stump and drilled towards deep cover. Eccleston's timing it nicely, but not taking the runs. The game extends.
Well, Phil and I were just having a chat as to how Sachin Tendulkar, who is in attendance here with several BCCI office bearers along with ICC Chair Jay Shah, has never gone on to win a test match at Lord's in all of his 5 attempts. But Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti, Deepti, they will certainly win one today.
And they can say, Mr. Tendulkar, that is how it's done. Forward comes Eccleston. Through the offside it goes. She's going to get 4. Out towards the grandstand, the ball scooting along. And plenty of India supporters greet its arrival with generous applause as Eccleston moves to 34. And now, what Stephen Finn mentioned prior to play, she can possibly start thinking about that test half-century.
100%. Perhaps the Lord's Honours Board batting record is a little far off even now, but definitely a half-century would be something to talk about from a batting perspective of England's, alongside Two terrific half centuries from Amy Jones.
Eccleston waits deep in the crease, will angle the ball very cleverly and cautiously into the offside for one. So again, it is just the one ball to face for Lauren Filer at the end of the over. Now, Sophie Eccleston has the second highest score in this England innings, the fourth highest in the match overall. It's been a very admirable innings.
I'm sure Catherine Silverbrand would be utterly proud of the efforts of Sophie Eccleston. I remember speaking to Sophie around 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago perhaps, and her speaking about how she wanted to be that reliable lower order batter as KSB was, especially towards the closing years of her career.
Leg slip in place as it's edged along the ground towards Gully. Shafali Verma in the wide-brimmed hat will crouch down and field, but there is no run. 167 for 9 the score. As we see Filer having faced just the 3 balls, Eccleston on 35, having faced 50.
Yeah, Sophie Eccleston on 35. That matches her highest test score. She made that against South Africa at Taunton in 2022. Across international formats, 35 her highest test score, 33 not out her highest ODI score, and 35 her highest T20 score.
She averages what in each format? Sorry, I've thrown that at you. And I appreciate that's a rather annoying thing for me to do. For information I actually could have looked up myself, Phil, so sorry, but I figure you do it with such panache.
I have it here, yeah. She averages in tests 17.8, ODIs 10.6, and in women's T20s 17.5.
It's the 10.6 that I think is really too low for somebody that's played the amount of ODI cricket as she has, and seen enough collapses above her in England batting lineup. Sheree Charity then is going to bowl to Sophie Eccleston. Left arm spin round the wicket. That's dropped too short and pummeled through the onside, and will be 4. Out to that boundary in front of the grandstand again, and Sophie Eccleston moves to 39.
Loving this counter punch quite late in the innings and in the scheme of things for England as far as a victory or a draw is concerned, but admirable stuff from Sophie Eccleston. Playing every single stroke fairly confidently. Some deft touches as was the case in the previous delivery, and now some power on viewing here against Sri Charani.
Who's in once again, outside the off stump this time, and it's almost 4 more, but Eccleston picks up the one fielder protecting the cover side of the square, and thrown back in by Kranti Gold with the score on 171 for 9. England 286 away from their target. India 1 wicket away from theirs.
171, iconic number in Indian women's cricket.
Indeed, Harmanpreet Kaur at Derby.
2017 ODI World Cup. Is that the score they'll get this wicket on?
Well, that delivery does not necessarily dictate that they will, but rather unusually here, Eccleston, though she clattered it with firm timing towards cover, takes the single despite still 3 balls left in the over. It was hit very firmly towards Kranti Goud, who has failed to field it correctly. It's gone through her hands and bounced off her ankle. I think at that moment, England instinctively, this pair of Filer and Eccleston, decided they were going to run, and here is an opportunity at England's number 11. 172 for 9. Standing, waiting is Filer. 4 around the bat. Oh, how has that missed the off stump? Filer dancing like a cat on a hot tin roof, now laughing, howling at the ludicrousness of the peril, I suppose. And again, it's very close, that off stump, as Dipti Sharma was to her. 2 balls left in the over. We've got more fielders coming round the bat. 2 slips, a short leg, silly point, gully.
Smriti Mandana has been added as the first slip fielder. Shafali Verma at second.
And now
Dipti Sharma at third.
Yeah.
2 floppy heads on view.
Next ball again. I mean, Filer makes it look more threatening than it is, perhaps, by all of this dancing about and looking as if it's a real snake pit, this surface.
Expecting too much from a frontline tail ender, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Actually, having watched a video of Phil Tufnell batting against Shane Warne the other day, it's a similar sort of vibe, actually. Filer Waits and comes forward very solidly in defence. Get past that, she says. And so the over comes to an end. She survived 3 balls of it, and I think Eccleston will feel quite relieved about that, because she'll be thinking, well, I didn't necessarily need to take that single and put that particular jeopardy in the way of our attempts to try and drag this game out a little bit longer. And I do remember, as you know, though some people might look at this situation and think, well, what's the point? Well, for those that have come in today, there's absolute point, because I remember seeing games when I was younger, and just even though the match situation dictated that there was no chance of any jeopardy at all, I just wanted to see more cricket, and that every single ball felt like, you know, this is great, we're seeing a little bit more, just a little bit more.
I was a similar kid.
Here is Deepti Sharma, off spin over the wicket. Eccleston watchfully in defence.
Well, I can certainly say that for the Indian fans who have turned up in significant numbers today, once again, as was the case over the past 3 days, it's also memorable because today marks the 24th anniversary of the historic men's NatWest 2002 series victory under the captaincy of Sourav Ganguly, with Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh stroking important knocks.
Deepti Sharma bowls to Eccleston, who flashes the ball past a diving gully and down towards the deep third boundary. And though, they might run 4 here. The ball stopped about a yard in front of the ropes. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's almost time for 5. I mean, Harmanpreet Kaur has ambled to get that, and Sophie Eccleston, I would estimate, as she laughs to the heavens, has an all-run 4 for probably the first time in her career.
She's been busy this morning, Sophie Eccleston. She's run 3 threes as well, yeah.
And what was that from Harman? She wasn't even interested in retrieving the ball. Just wanted it to trickle along all the way into the ropes.
It stopped about a yard short. And Eccleston's on 44. Here's Deepti Sharma to Sophie Eccleston, who comes forward and just pushes the ball back towards the bowler. In some ways, it's my favourite bit of cricket, this, because it is essentially pointless. But there is a sort of joy in a game within games, and I love it. Eccleston on 44. England on 176 for 9. 281 away from their target. India need 1 wicket. In comes Deepti Sharma. Eccleston, struck in front is she? Big appeal for LBW and given! She reviews straight away. India come together in a huddle. I think Sophie Eccleston possibly reviewing out of hope as opposed to expectation, and India looked confident. She attempted the sweep, possibly to try and launch the ball for 6 runs to reach 50, but we will see. If there's a bottom edge, she's fine.
The previous decision was umpire's call going England's way. This one, I have a feeling, might go India's way if there is no edge at all.
Well, I think she's edged that.
Close to the bat, let's go through to ultra edge.
Has she? I think I saw a deviation. Let's see what ultra edge tells us. Eccleston's not looking particularly concerned. Sachin Tendulkar was up and applauding, shown on the big screen.
Waiting for ultra edge.
Hear the cries for Sachin.
That's a constant across all cricketing venues featuring an Indian team or otherwise.
Someone with a banner saying, "Here's to witness history." And it will be history at some point, quite soon. I mean, India fielders are now heading back to their respective positions as if to say, well, we know the outcome of this. Should we not just get on with it? But you can understand why it was given by Sue Redfern, because it did look very out.
True that. And in the meantime, Richa Ghosh is herself having a chuckle in the company of Sophie Eccleston.
Here we go.
Flat line, flat line, flat line.
Ooh. He says flat line. There's a
roll that back, please.
There's a murmur. I think this isn't out myself, but is that enough evidence?
Spike there. Can we go back to Sue on field, please?
Yeah, I think...
So you're on field now. Can you reverse your decision to...
Yeah, not out. Is that cool? And so we'll see a little more in the crowd like that. Because on one hand, the majority India support here want to see the game come to its conclusion. On the other, they're having a good day out in the sunshine, as we all are.
And I think they want Sophie Ecclestone to score that Test half century here at Lord's.
Ecclestone waits. And forward in defence this time, pushing towards Rodrigues at Silly Point. Or more accurately, a very short cover, really. She's not quite as close in as she might be. There's Risha Ghosh at short mid-wicket. As here is Deepti Sharma to Ecclestone, who launches the ball down the ground, down towards the pavilion, and will get 4. She moves to 48 and decided against trying to find a single to manage to keep the strike. Instead elects, well, 4 runs to try and take it close to a half century. So we are going to make a change here in the commentary box with Alison Mitchell standing by and ready to join Anisha Ghosh with England 9 down.
Sophie Ecclestone utterly enjoyed that one, and why not? She was able to strike that off the middle of the bat, cleared the infield, cleared N. Sricharani, and got well-deserved 4 runs. And you can sense that even the Indian infielders, Ali, want perhaps Sophie Ecclestone to get to her milestone and then wrap up this historic victory for themselves. It's all happening.
Well, they want to witness history, don't they? And in whatever form it comes, if it's another player's milestone, but they want this last wicket. Could it be Charani to take it? Going back, allowing it to go as Filer into the gloves of Bhatia. The 3 slips are there. Towards Silly Point, short leg. It's wonderful, isn't it, how within a match, this last wicket can be such a moment, waiting for it. The anticipation. Charani around the wicket, forward, bat and pad close together, dribbling it up into the short mid-wicket region. 1 wicket to go. Craig Charani hasn't taken a wicket this innings. Everybody else has at least 2. Charani, diagonal run up, skips forward, bowls, floats it up outside the off stump. It's left alone, it's ricocheted off the pad of Yastika Bhatia.
Yeah, she's the Test debutant for India. The sole debutant on this big occasion is N. Sricharani from Karapa, Andhra Pradesh, #1 ranked T20I bowler, and here she has a chance to etch her name in the annals of history in quite a remarkable fashion with perhaps that last wicket.
Outside the off stump, left alone. Charani looking for both her maiden Test wicket and a match-winning wicket. It would be quite something, wasn't it? Wicketless in the first innings as well. Troy Charani. Filer settles over her bat once again. Sun glints off Harmanpreet's sunglasses in the slips. Charani fires one in tighter, angled in. Defence once more. And Bhatia from behind the stumps is being quite animated as well, throwing her head back as if saying, "Oh, you nearly got that through. You nearly got it through." 180 for 9. India began the day needing 4 wickets for an historic Test match victory here at Lord's. They need just 1 more. Filer taps her bat against the ground. Charani creeps in around the wicket, bowls left arm, forward defence again from Filer. She's keeping her out. She's extending the stay at the crease and extending this match for England and making sure the Indian fans, who are in good numbers in the grandstand today, are having to wait a little bit longer. 180 for 9. Ecclestone there on 48, so we'll be back to the game within the game and whether there's that milestone there for Sophie Ecclestone and a Test match 50. But it's a really bubbling atmosphere. Of course, so much of the ground is empty today. It's a Monday, it's a school day and a work day, or some schools have broken up, but not every of them have. But of course, with only a handful of wickets left for the away team to get for this victory, it's largely Indian supporters who have come down to witness it. There's a cluster around the pavilion steps, around that central door as well, another scattered around the pavilion. Sneh Rana is being asked to return to get this final wicket. 3 for 41 for her so far in this second innings. But Ecclestone is on 48. See, she's got slip in a gully. Catcher either side of the wicket, short cover and a short mid-wicket. Rana, around the wicket she goes. Ecclestone is forward, driving up towards long off. Jogs through for the single. She moves on to 49. So Filer back on strike. Can Sneh Rana burst through the Doughty Filer defence? Wandering down the pitch now to have a word with Sophie Ecclestone, and the fielders will again come back in around the bat. Deepti Sharma is moving up. Is she going to be in a leg slip position here for Filer?
Now the question, Ali, is which is going to happen first? Eccleston's milestone or India's victory.
Filer yet to score. Rana is in looking for the final winning wicket, left alone by Filer, not too far away from that off stump and into the gloves of the keeper.
Some classical left alone action from Lauren Filer for the past 6 or 7 deliveries. She's finding her rhythm, so to speak, as a tail-ender out there in the middle.
Rana in, Filer leaving it alone again. A stride forward, keeping that bat raised, not offering a shot. Bhatia there with the gloves. 4, 5 around the bat. Slipped gully, forward silly point, short leg, leg slip, India striving for the final wicket. Stiff breeze blowing across Lords. Rana moves in now. Filer is forward, bat and pad close together, and it doesn't go to hand at short leg, but there's a half an appeal for LBW. Now, how convinced are they that it was pad first? I think that idea has fallen away quite quickly, or as Harmanpreet is suggesting that it would have been missing. The DRS timer is ticking down. India do have reviews available. They're not going to be using them. So for Sneh Rana, it is a slow walk back to her mark. Let's have another look at this one. The off-spinning delivery, pitches outside off, comes back quite a way. Does strike her on the pad, in front of middle and leg. Maybe Mesa thought it was doing too much. Rana in again, left alone once more. Now, is that clipped off the pad again? Because it's been not taken by the keeper and then spilt by Harmanpreet there at slip, who's on the ground. So if there was any bat involved, it certainly wasn't a catch.
Yeah, I think it was Yastika Bhatia who was imploring upon Harmanpreet to take the DRS. She has in fact signalled for the DRS decision to be taken, the India skipper, while being sat on the ground.
Well, Filer hasn't offered a shot. The ball has flicked the pad outside the line of the off stump, so that's what's got India
TV
interested.
umpire to director. We have a player review for LBW. No shot played. I've checked the feet, it's a fair delivery. Can we go through to front on, please?
Well, could the final wicket fall via DRS? And the TV umpire, James Middlebrook. We're having another look now at Rana. Delivering this ball to Filer. He takes it half a stride forward. And the flap of the pad is clipped.
Can we just go through to ball tracking, please?
So, all about the ball tracking. Is the ball doing enough to turn back, to hit off stump, and for enough of the ball to hit off stump for this to be the final match-winning wicket at the first ever women's test match at Lords.
The Indian players have huddled again, as they have to the best part of the past few overs.
Is not out.
Here we go.
Pitching outside
Don't
off.
think it's done enough, or has it?
Outside.
It hasn't done enough by a
Missing
long
wickets.
way. Missing off
Go
stump
back to Silver
comfortably.
Field, please.
Really needed to have spun sharply, and probably with the help of the slope again. So good decision by Sue Redfern. It was not out on field. And India will go again. One more ball left in the over for Sneh Rana.
Yeah, they're getting closer. A few smiles on the faces of the Indian players, including that of Captain Harmanpreet Kaur. What a leader she has been. Marshalled her troops exceedingly well in this iconic test match, all important first ever women's Lords test.
One ball left in the over. Rana is in. Filer edges into the ground though. Silly points there to field. Ends up on her front as Richa Ghosh. So India creating some drama of their own here as England are clinging on to this test match. 9 down, but they're going to have to keep going. And whether England can stretch this out for an agonising half an hour till the lunch break, there'll be some resistance if they do. But you feel it is a matter of time at the moment. And the crowd in the grandstand, their Indian shirts on, are willing for this final wicket to come and come quickly. Now, the Deepti Sharma again.
It is.
From the
shirt number 6.
Nursery end.
Well, our colleague Phil Long had told Melissa Story that 12:37 is when this match will end. I had said 12:38, so let's see who ends up winning this wager. The other colleagues of ours have already lost out, whoever said prior to 12.
Deepti Sharma then from the nursery end. In now. Steered past Silly Point. Eccleston brings up a 50 in this historic test at Lords to go with a fifer with the ball as well. She's got a smile on her face. It'll be in a losing cause, but a half century in a test match at the home of cricket. It's got her teammates on the balcony raising their arms aloft in applause. And she's given a fist pump and a huge grin on her face. A half century off 61 balls with 7 boundaries there, as England are clinging on.
One of the poster girls of this England women's cricket team leaves an imprint with the bat in hand. Sophie Eccleston enjoyed that one, as did the entire England squad, standing on the balcony applauding that effort.
Deepti in here to Filer, goes back, defends, it squirts past, silly point, no run.
You said 7 boundaries. It was 6 boundaries and an all-run 4.
Ah, that's right. It came up as 7 on the graphic. You're absolutely right, yeah. Right, Filer awaits again. 5 around the bat. Deepti Sharma, a false start to her approach with her spin. Filer's taking a moment. Notes that there is a backward square as well, lurking. Sharma in, looking for the final wicket. Bursts through the defence and into the gloves of the keeper, but not far away from the stumps. Lauren Filer's got a grin on her face, as does Harmanpreet. They're really enjoying this final tussle.
There are so many shabashes being uttered and hollered towards Deepti Sharma, which means well done, keep going.
Sharma in, a bit more flight, inside edge onto boot, and it's left for Bhatia to pick up. Shabash, yeah. You hear it a lot, don't you, around the bat when all the fielders are in close, the spinner is on.
Not much of sledging happening for the tail ender.
I don't think you could afford to sledge at 9 down. A big drive down the ground for 4 from Filer. It gets her off the mark. Of course, the fielder all up crowding the bat. She's got a good piece of it. A fuller delivery from Sharma tossed up. And Filer has drilled it all along the ground for the boundary. And even the Indian fans are applauding that. They can afford to be generous, the Indian supporters.
Absolutely, they are in the driver's seat after all. Lauren Filer getting her first runs on the board on her 21st delivery of this stay. Huge grin on her face. And she's enjoying this little duel ensuing between herself and Deepti Sharma. Who's going to have the last laugh, eh?
Around the wicket here, patting it away. Now they're interested again for an LB. Will Harmanpreet go upstairs again, or is it missing once more? Missed by a long way. So still 2 reviews available to India. Well, the conversation's going on longer than anticipated. 4 seconds to go until they run out of time to review. Deepti and Bhatia are both there with Harmanpreet, but no, it's the end of the over. So the boundary coming from it off the bat of Filer. India will go again from the pavilion end in search of this final match-winning wicket. 186 for 9. We've had 62 overs, so England have lasted longer than in their first innings, if you're looking for silver linings for England. Padding well outside the line of the off-stump, not offering a shot, but the ball going down the slope. With the aid of the slope, have not been coming back up to hit the stumps from that end. So Sneh Rana 3 for 42 so far. 2 wickets in the first innings for her. So can she snaffle this final one? Sunshine at Lord's, an expectant crowd. Indian supporters willing this historic win. Rana moves in and back up the pitch. Sophie Eccleston's got a good piece of it, bursting through the hands of the bowler, but fielded by long off. He moves across to her right, and Eccleston says to Filer, don't worry about the single, I'm 50 not out. I'll just stay here for the moment.
Yeah, I'm a test half-centurion at Lord's. Not many can say. Not the likes of, unfortunately, Heather Knight or Tammy Beaumont, the 2 retirees from England.
Rana moves in over the wicket to Eccleston. She goes back. The ball skews off an outer edge to the vacant point region. And again, turns down the single, content to stay where she is.
Rana will be backing herself. She loves competition, and I'm pretty certain there would be plenty of bets going on in within the Indian players as to who gets this final wicket.
Eccleston awaits. Rana moves in over the crease. A full delivery. Defence from Eccleston, solid enough. They've got a point in position there to field. So no run. Sophie Eccleston playing in her 10th test match here today. So got herself on the honours board for bowling. One of 3 women now on Lord's honours boards. 1 in the home dressing room and 2 in the away dressing room. Settles over her bat. Again, comfortably her best score in test matches for England. This half-century, never been done before by Eccleston. Fired a little bit fuller, and she defends again into the onside short leg there. Reacher goes to pick up.
field has, by the way, spread out a fair bit over the course of the past few deliveries, knowing that Sophie Eccleston is taking the aggressive route, the aerial route, and also hitting it powerfully down the ground.
Just the one slip in place as Rana is in, beats her, bowls her! It's the end of the match. India victorious in the first women's test at Lord's. Eccleston gone for 50, Sneha Rana with the winning wicket. 4 for 42 she's taken, and India now celebrate in a huddle. Their fans in the grandstand on their feet. And watched by the great Sachin Tendulkar as well to give them applause. Harmanpreet Kaur leads India to an historic test match victory on English soil, the first women's test here at Lord's, and it is a hefty victory as well. They have pummeled England, they've dominated, and they've won by 270 runs on Isha Ghosh.
It is the Vidrohi, the rebel Sneha Rana, who has the last laugh as Sophie Eccleston becomes the final wicket to fall, and India women remain unbeaten in tests in England and go on to script their first historic victory in this format, the best format, the longest format, the iconic Lord's Cricket Ground. And what a moment this is in the 50th year since India women made their international debut. 40 years since their first ever tour of England. India, under the leadership of Harmanpreet Kaur, have orchestrated a remarkable victory, and an emphatic one, aided by characters such as Kranti Gaur, who took a 5-wicket haul. Important contributions coming in from Centurion, first ever to script her name on the Test batting honours board, Yastika Bhatia. But do not forget the cameos, the important hands played by Harmanpreet herself, half-century in the first innings, as well as Deepti Sharma. But do not forget Sneha Rana, the girl from Dehradun, Uttarakhand hai, 4-wicket haul to her name. And it all ends in smiles, cheers, high fives, and a historic moment in the history of women's cricket in India.
Well, it's been a tremendous occasion here at Lord's. England outplayed, India showing their class and showing their skills throughout. Some excellent bowling, getting themselves in front really from early on day 2, with starting to take England wickets and what was good batting conditions. And they're now filing off the pitch, congratulating each other, and there's handshakes with the England team who have all come down from the dressing room as well. All the Indian support staff have come down onto the outfield, a sun-drenched Lord's, and India are victorious. Let's go down to Henry Moran. Oh, sorry, Henry's here. Henry, I thought you were on the outfield. Henry's about to go into the commentary box. Right, I think I'm probably going down to the outfield. Should we do that?
Thank you, Ali Mitchell. What a moment this has been. I think we've all let ourselves soak in the atmosphere and the moment a little bit, but I must also take a moment to commend the efforts of Smriti Mandhana, who will go down as the highest run scorer at the first ever iconic women's test at the Lord's Cricket Ground.
That was an utterly bonkers moment. As soon as Alison said that, I looked around and I thought, am I meant to be down there? What am I doing? Righto, okay, so thank you, Anisha. As Anisha Ghosh is going to head on down to the outfield. I can assure you she is heading outside. And Melissa Story comes to join me, as does, in a moment, Stephen Finn. But India have wrapped this up. They've done so in an hour and a half or so. And Melissa, we sort of knew this was going to be how it played out, but there's certainly a little milestone in there. Sophie Eccleston reaching that half-century, but all credit to India.
Yeah, India have been brilliant across this test match, and you can tell from the moment they stepped out onto the field they had a point to prove, crashing out of the T20 World Cup in the group stages after winning the 50 over World Cup last year. They're a side who have high expectations on them now because of the strength of their domestic system, with the multi-day competitions they play, the Women's Premier League, and whether it's been with that performance from Yastika with 113, Smriti Mandhana across both innings, scores of 83 and 70. There's been those contributions from players who have put their hand up and said, I am going to be the one to make a difference today to this performance. And that's what Test cricket takes. It's a game of patience and skill. And from an England point of view, there's not been too much to really shout about. Of course, Sophie Ecclestone, she's had a great game personally with those 5 wickets in the third innings and then scoring 50, a really gritty innings, I would say, at the end there. And then, of course, Amy Jones with 2 half-centuries as well. But besides that, a very well-deserved win for India, who've been dominant throughout.
Stephen Finn, Ashes winning fast bowler for England, is alongside us as well. And as we see the presentation ready to get set up, this has been a hard-fought and thoroughly deserved victory. I mean, 270 runs is a mighty win.
A huge win, yeah, and they've just out-disciplined England all the way from the very beginning. England won the toss and bowled first and didn't make the most of that new ball on that pitch. I thought they ended up bowling India out for around par in that innings with the way that they realigned in the afternoon session, and beyond that to bowling India out for 285. But England just never really capitalised on the little moments within the game where they could have dragged themselves back into it. And India fully deserved their victory. They showed real skill, discipline, fight at times, and the desire that when they got themselves into a good position that they weren't going to throw it away. It was a really good performance.
The fact that India batted for so much longer than England as well. You look at that first innings where England were out there for 59.1 overs, India 74.5, and then second innings almost 90 overs for India and just 63 for England. It almost felt, Melissa, as though India just sort of were more seasoned Test cricketers, and they have played more of it recently.
They have, but even then, the frequency between tests for these Indian players is not going to be something which will give them a huge advantage. It's a conversation, I guess, which has been had so many times over the last few years from the England men's test team, of realising that actually you need to spend a certain amount of time in the middle, not only to give yourself a chance with the bat and actually build someone to build that large innings and which can anchor the score, but also give your bowlers a bit of a rest. I don't think England's bowlers were their best in that first innings at all, and across the pitch the conditions probably got more favourable from a batting point of view, but there wasn't that necessary backing up from a skills perspective of the batters putting their hands up and saying, I'm going to spend a long time out in the crease, particularly and disappointingly from England's experienced players, and they weren't able as a result to back up their bowlers who were working hard in really hot conditions across the duration of this test.
Phil Long.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Henry, both England innings lasted approximately 60 overs. If we look further back, the last 9 times they've batted now, 7 of those times they've failed to make 200. The last 2 tests against India have now been lost by 347 runs in India at the D.Y. Patel, 270 runs today. So make of that what you will.
Well, I was just looking at the scorecard from that test, and as you say, England in that being bowled out for 136, 131. That's playing away in conditions in India, which of course at the time we spoke a lot about England's weakness against spin, and that played a huge role in that as well. But I think it's disappointing as well that to have the use of these home conditions in particular as well, I don't think England have probably made the most of that in terms of how they've gone about this game. And it's really tough to ask players to come back from that brutal World Cup final last Sunday with a really short turnaround and get out here and play a format that they're not used to playing. But it all comes down, I think, to that attitude and maybe the fact that for periods of that game, as Stephen said, they weren't quite switched on, and as a result, those clutch moments they weren't able to live up to.
In terms of the bowling figures for India in that second innings, 2 wickets apiece for the seamers, Satgare and Gord. 4 wickets for Sinead Rana, including the final of them. Shrey Charani went wicketless in the game, somewhat surprisingly. Deepti Sharma 2 wickets for 36, and Shafali Verma just the 1 over. Didn't pick up a wicket. England's little moments of success in that second innings, they will be Sophie Ecclestone's 50 off 66, Amy Jones 54 off 80, showing, Stephen, that with a bit of resolution there was the ability to hang around.
Yeah, and with the discipline that the Indian bowlers had, and I think the thing that was most impressive about the bowlers was the fact that whenever they started a spell, they were just on the money straight away. That the seamers hitting the top of the stumps, and the spinners forcing the batters to play forward defences with good changes of skill with the ball that skids on and turns. So those batters to score those runs had to be switched on. It's just a shame that in partnership there weren't too many other people that came in on their coattails, which did lead to England losing wickets at important times and not supporting those guys who made the significant contributions.
I say this with trepidation, but I'm going to throw outside to Alison Mitchell.
I'm here, Henry.
Oh,
thank you.
goodness.
What a relief. Well, here we are on the outfield at Lord's with the England and India players in front of us. India having beaten England by 270 runs to win this historic first women's test match at the home of cricket, which can now claim to be the home of cricket. Now it has staged a women's game here. England having been playing test cricket in England since 1937 on the women's front. But it's India who have come out on top, having outplayed England, really. They began the last day, day 4, needing 4 wickets to wrap up victory. India duly got those inside an hour and 40 minutes. England all out for 186, 62.5 overs for their second innings, having been set a mammoth 457 by India to win. That was out of the equation once England began losing wickets on that third day. Sophie Ecclestone making a half-century to go with her 5-wicket haul. Kranti Goud, 7 wickets in the match. Sneh Rana with the match-winning wicket, 4 for 42 in the second innings and 6 wickets in the match for her. 3 women now featuring on Lord's honours boards, 2 in the away dressing room. Kranti Goud with her 5 for 37. Yastika Bhatia, 113, and Sophie Ecclestone, her 5 for 118. I'm with the England captain, Nat Sciver-Brunt. Nat, a big defeat. Just reflect first of all though on this occasion of this historic test match at Lord's.
I guess before we started we knew it was going to be a really special few days, and it has been. I think we've felt it at different times as a team. I've absolutely loved walking through the long room, and hopefully we can do that a few more times in the years to come. I guess on the game reflecting, we were outplayed in all departments really. We found bits with the bat and found bits with the ball, but couldn't quite put it all together, and India did extremely well. I thought the way Yastika batted yesterday just kept it really simple and had us on our heels really.
Was it particularly tough moving from the T20 format straight into Test? India did have a little bit longer, but the bowling first, did the bowlers in particular find it difficult to adjust to that first innings?
I'd say obviously the timing, it would have been good if we had a few more days, but as bowlers we want to trust our skill to be able to change as quickly as we can and adapt as quickly as we can, but like you say, we probably didn't on that first morning. Couldn't quite get our lengths right, and then once we did, we were already sort of behind the game, especially in that first innings.
About emotions around the group with the 2 retirees as well, Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight. Neither of them got the runs they would have wanted in this test match, but what has this match been like for them?
Yeah, of course. They would have liked to have gone out, all guns blazing, maybe a few more runs on the board, but I think both really happy with their decisions and I guess happy with how they're feeling about the whole occasion. They've loved the 4 days we've had here, and they'll be sorely missed from our team. They've obviously had equally long careers and taken the game from pre-professional era to where we are now. They have plenty to be proud of, and as a group we're certainly proud of what they've been able to achieve.
I mean, looking ahead, Test match cricket is few and far between, but it is vitally important, multi-format series in particular for an Ashes series. How, as a group, do you get to a point where you can bat for long periods? And just thinking at, sort of a 60 overs in the first innings, just more than 60 overs in the second innings, but being able to bat to get those big 350, 400 totals, what do you need to do?
I think it's just, individually chunking the game down. Everyone has the skill to be able to do it. I think it's just breaking that down. And if somebody thinks about that in overs, somebody thinks about that in time, whatever it is, I guess those are the sorts of things that we chat about as a batting group, and building a partnership together and going big with that. I guess in the way that we might not have adjusted well with the ball. Similar things, I suppose, with the bat. But yeah, I think, like you say, multi-format cricket is so important in the landscape of what we're doing. We're pretty lucky that we get to play quite a few different teams in Test match cricket. So we've also got a big Ashes series next summer, so we'll be preparing well for that.
And there'll be small moments to celebrate within this match, not least having Sophie Ecclestone's name on the honours board. At Lords, has it already gone up there? Have you penned it in?
Yeah, it's on a bit of tape at the moment. I'm sure in the next few days it will be put on there permanently. But what an amazing occasion for her to, I guess, produce spells like she did. I'm sure she bowled for a really long time. But she absolutely loves bowling with the red ball, so it's hard to get that ball out of her hand. But another fifer at the home of cricket. Will be some special memories made this week.
A few tired bodies right now?
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. Obviously we've got some big things to come in the next 7 to 10 days, so lots of rest and recuperation.
Okay. Thanks very much, Nat. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Nat Sciver-Brunt, England captain. I'm on the outfield here with 2 World Cup winners in Alex Hartley and Catherine Sciver-Brunt, and Anesha Ghosh here as well, Indian cricket writer and broadcaster. Alex, let me come to you then. I mean, England outplayed. Where for you? Oh, I'll come back to you, Alex, because Charlotte Edwards is here, England coach. Charlotte, well, what have you made of your reaction, first of all, to the result and the way your team played in what is a one-off but a very special Test match?
Yeah, look, just really disappointed, I guess. Such a historic Test match, and probably not to play anywhere near our best over the 4 days, but all credit to India. I thought they played outstandingly well. Just disappointed. It's been obviously a long week after the World Cup final, and to not put in our best performance is, pretty disappointing.
How much time do you ideally need to prepare a team to play a Test match?
A lot longer than what we had, and I think that's the hard thing. But there's certainly no excuses from our end. It's the same for both teams, albeit India probably had a little bit more time to prepare for this Test match. Clearly the goal for us this summer was the World Cup, and a lot of our attention and detail had been put into that. I guess to end our summer, albeit that we've got some games against Ireland coming up. It's disappointing, but I think reflecting on the summer as a whole, hugely proud of what the team have achieved.
You've got a couple of players leaving the dressing room now, and Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight. How do you begin to move the team forward, particularly without Heather Knight, of course she's still been a big feature of the white ball teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, firstly, just what unbelievable careers they've both had. They're going to be sorely missed by the dressing room. There's been a few tears over the last couple of days, but their contributions to this team have been unbelievable for a period of time. But I just think it's an exciting opportunity for young players now within the domestic game, within the England setup, to really take hold of that and I guess see an opportunity within the team to now stake their claim for a spot. And I guess that's what the message will be from me moving forward.
How do you see Test cricket fitting into the scheme of women's cricket? Do one-off tests like this sort of work? This was a particular occasion, or they would need to be part of a multi-format series?
Yeah, I believe that there should be. I think there's a place for it. But it has to be part of a multi-series, bilateral series. So I think that's something to look at moving forward, because we've certainly enjoyed Test cricket, but you have to have it constantly. You can't play every 18 months and expect performances, and certainly when there's no preparation for it as well. But I'm a huge advocate of it. I think there's so much we can learn from it, and certainly a lot of my planning going into the next summer's Ashes is going to be around our 4-day cricket and making sure that we're in a place, in that first Test match against the Aussies to really compete.
Are you an advocate for some sort of domestic 4-day, I guess more than warm-up fixtures, some sort of competition?
Yeah, I think there's so much that can be learnt from 3 and 4 day cricket. I really do. I think we've seen here the skills that you need, and I think that only helps in other formats of the game. So that'll be something I'll be taking back, and hopefully we can do that. I think we're doing that within our academy setups. They're playing 2-day cricket, which I think is great, but I think we need to see it in probably Tier 1 cricket, and even if that's 2 or 3 games a summer, but getting that exposure for young players, for older players, I think is so important, especially if we continue to play Test cricket.
And going forward across the summer, the 100 next, then those Ireland matches in September. Do you envisage resting some players for that, or would you put out a strong side against an Ireland team that's just featured in the T20 World Cup?
I think we need a little bit of time to have a think. There's a lot happened even in the last few days. I think reassess. And I think just get some time, certainly for me, some time at home to reflect on what's been, like I say, a really special summer, to be part of so many fantastic occasions. And I just need time to just, I guess, think about where we want to take this team moving forward. But we know we've got a really important 12 months ahead with the Champions Trophy and an Ashes summer next summer.
Thanks, Charlotte. Good to see you. Charlotte Edwards, England head coach. Right, Catherine Sciver-Brunton, Alex Hartley, let's go again. Alex, so overall, your reflections. Yeah, an amazing occasion, but ultimately for England falling way short on the field.
Yeah, look, I think that there has to be a World Cup hangover on there. You know, you play Sunday, you obviously go out Sunday night with your friends, you have a drink, you let your hair down for a really, really intense month that has been playing in a home World Cup and then not getting over the line. You're off Monday, you're off Tuesday, you only have Wednesday, Thursday to prepare. So realistically, the bowlers aren't going to bowl Wednesday and Thursday. We didn't bowl well enough. We were a little bit off lines, lengths. We didn't attack the stumps enough. We don't play Test cricket enough. England don't play Test cricket enough. Nobody does in women's cricket. So like Charlotte Edwards said, you can't then expect the performances. But England were outplayed in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, true story. Like it's a disappointing end to a monumental 8 weeks. For one of that, I've rode every emotion with them. Feel like I'm on tour. So I know what's going on behind the scenes, like the effort, the emotions. I guess the mental toil of it. Obviously, India had a significant amount of more time to just pick up that red ball and sort of get used to it, and really sort of get the rhythm there, and that does count. I know rhythm with bowling is number one. It's the most key element to a seam bowler and probably a spin bowler. So for them not to be able to have that and come straight from bowling, out the back of the hands, off cutters, to suddenly just trying to hammer a line and length consistently over and over and over again, when you've only really had, your body's adapted to bowling 4 overs, not 14, and so it's a wild thing. But I would still both teams were still pretty much on a level playing field in terms of where they've come from situationally. We just did not bowl well enough, but our girls need to be able to make those adjustments. That should be the basis of their training anyway, is consistency and relentlessness with the ball. Everything after that is an addition. So they'll be super disappointed, but mentally completely drained.
Yeah, it's been a big 8 weeks to say the least. A quick turnaround now, another week until the 100 starts. But for this match, the occasion of it, Alex, has it been a success, staging a test match here for women at Lord's?
Yeah, bar the little blip yesterday, I think it's been amazing. I think the women have had full attention, which is absolutely what they deserve. The 4 days of the calendar year is not much to ask for, and they're getting the past players down to ring the bell the morning of the game. 15,000 in on Saturday. I think there was about 9 or 10 in yesterday. It has been amazing. The crowd's been great. The occasion's been great. Look, it's taken too long for England women to play a test match at Lord's, but it's happened now, and hopefully it will happen more regularly moving forward. And a great occasion, and ultimately the best team won, but it's not taken anything away from the occasion that England lost this test match.
And the significance of having women's names on the honours boards at Lord's, Catherine. I mean, names have been up there for One Day International since their famous day in 2017, but on those test match honours boards, they are now just integrated, and Sophie Ecclestone's name goes down there on the list, and Kranti Gaud and Yastika Bhatia now. That's a huge significance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a massive thing. It is something you wish to achieve. If you have a set of goals as a cricketer, that's one of the things you can't deny. That's something you would quite like, and it's definitely something that was on my radar, and the handful of times we got to play here, I managed to do that along with 3 other girls. And if you consider the amount of years that have passed now, it is a small number, so it is a massive achievement to do that. So I'm really proud of the way Sophie's played. I'm proud of the way the girls have carried themselves over the 8 weeks, because it's been, I didn't get to taste I guess, massive stardom. That this is stardom now. The amount of people watching them, the eyes on, and the expectation, it has gone through the roof. So we're into a new territory now of mental resilience and how we come through that. So the way they've sort of carried themselves and kept carrying themselves is great, especially if you consider where they finished last time to this. It is a 360, isn't it? So it's all about the future now and where do we go from here.
We'll pick up on that theme in a moment, but speaking of stardom, Anusha Ghosh, we're seeing Harmanpreet Kaur being interviewed now as the winning captain. The India team have match-winning medals around their neck. Their fans are packing the lower tier of the grandstand. Just give us a sense of the following that this team and this match and the feats that have been achieved have been followed in India.
Oh, it has been covered fairly well by international press and, of course, national press back in India, and social media, which has been such a crucial vehicle for the promotion of women's game since the 2017 World Cup. I remember Twitter had launched captain's emojis during that historic ODI World Cup for the first time, and ever since, the Indian women's cricket team players have become something of household names, the likes of Smriti Mandhana, Jemimah Rodrigues, Harmanpreet Kaur, who is having a conversation with the host broadcasters right now as the winning captain. But this match has also produced superstars like a Kranti Gaur, the revolution. Her name literally translates to revolution, a revolution that Lords will remember for decades and centuries to come. It's one thing to become the first ever woman to have your name on the Lords Test honours boards. It's another to become the player of the match because she followed up her first wicket, 5-wicket haul with 2 wickets in the second dig.
Anusha, we'll come back to you in a moment. Heather Knight is here, retiring Heather Knight. Heather, it's over. Can you believe your international career is at an end?
Yeah, it's obviously had a little bit of time to sink in. There's certainly some emotion around obviously the last few days, but yeah, like I said yesterday, it feels like the right time for me. I feel really happy, really content. It's been really cool to obviously play here at Lords in a Test match. That's just to be part of that history has been amazing. Obviously not the result we were after, but credit to India. They've played unbelievably. They've coped with the demands of Test cricket a little bit better than we have. But yeah, I feel really proud, really special, and yeah, I'm just looking out on the outfield here. We've got all our families and friends, which is a really nice thing. And it's going to be a good afternoon, sort of sharing with those guys, sharing with people in the dressing room, and just reliving some memories and I guess saying goodbyes.
Your last Test match is a first for women's cricket to be staged here at Lords. What are your hopes for what this sets in motion going forward for the game?
Yeah, I hope it's not the last for sure, and I'm sure it won't be. I think it's been a really important thing to tick off. It's been a long time coming to have a Test here, and obviously it's the most historic ground in the country and in the world, really. So yeah, to have a Test match here for women is really important. I think it's been a brilliant occasion. Like it's been really cool, really fun to play in. I've caught myself looking around quite a lot and just trying to soak it in, and just grateful for the people before that have kind of enabled this day to happen. I think on day one, the past players ringing the bell, that was a really lovely, wholesome moment. I think there was a few emotional girls actually that were sort of lining up and singing the national anthem, seeing that and knowing the significance of this moment in time. And I think the good thing where we're getting to with women's cricket, there isn't that many sort of moments to tick off, and you hope now that it's kind of all about the game and the cricket that is played. So yeah, an amazing moment, but I'm sure it won't be the last Test match here.
I know you would have wanted more runs, but what was it like coming out for your final Test innings, which happened pretty quickly given Tammy Beaumont was out first ball? But can you just talk us through what that was like, and indeed a guard of honour when you walked off as well?
Yeah, well, like coming out, obviously, I missed the guard of honour for Tammy, so I was making my way through the long room. But yeah, I actually felt like really calm and really normal. Like I really wanted to make sure that final innings I was myself and I was playing how I wanted to. And yeah, I sort of thought I would, in that sort of sticky situation, 20 for 3, it's kind of been a bit of a story of my career really. But yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to do what I've done before and go on and get that kind of big innings and help the team out. So when I did get out, I was obviously just frustrated with my dismissal really. It's quite a classic Knight dismissals, head falling over a little bit to the offside. So yeah, it was kind of a way that I probably got out a little bit through my career. So, but the guard of honour was lovely. Obviously credit to India for doing that, and I've
I've played cricket with some of those guys, Richa, Smriti, Deepti as well. So yeah, really nice for those guys to kind of honour that, and yeah, just trying to take it in. I only got emotional sort of when I saluted my parents actually, and
I was wondering when that might have come.
Yeah, and then I've had a box all week with my friends and family, so that's been so special to kind of share this moment with the people that have been there on my journey and played a huge part and supported me, and yeah, that was really nice.
And who can you pick out from this group behind us? I know you'll go and join them in a moment, but who's here in particular that you want to name check and thank?
Well, yeah, obviously my parents, mum and dad, have been there from the start. They're driving me all around the country as a kid and supporting me all over the place. So yeah, obviously them, my partner Tim, and I haven't actually got that many people here today. The box has been full for 3 days, but yeah, it was kind of nice that obviously the moment was there yesterday. But yeah, even like all the friends and family, like looking at Andy Bell, Richie Siv. Yeah, Callum is Tammy's partner. Just all that group of people kind of live what we live all together, and yeah, I think a lot of the families are kind of going to miss my partner Tim more than anything. They will be like, they haven't mentioned me. They'll be like, we're really going to miss Tim. He's kind of the glue that holds everyone together. So yeah, it's a special moment for obviously my family, but all the parents are, I think, yeah, and hopefully we're going to have a few drinks with them and celebrate with them. They've been a huge part of our journey, and I think that's what I've really loved about this summer. Obviously, a home World Cup, they're so special just because you have so many friends and family around, and you get to share that journey and that special memories with them. Obviously, really disappointed we weren't able to win that trophy here at Lord's last week, but yeah, I think that's one of the special things about cricket is the people for me and the characters. So yeah, really nice that everyone's obviously out here able to share it with us as players.
And you're going to be, this is pretty much your home ground now for the 100, isn't it? You've got the role with London Spirit. Do you see yourself advancing that sort of administration or coaching side? What direction do you think you're going in the future?
Oh, I'm open to try things, to be honest, Alice. Obviously, been doing the general manager role for sort of 6 months now, and I am really excited. I've really loved doing that, actually. I've always loved being part of shaping teams, and I guess now it's the sort of players and the staff, the teams that I'm shaping. So that's really fun and really excited for that. I'm going to play a little bit more cricket. I'm hoping to play in the Big Bash in particular, and then we'll just sort of go from there. Like I would like to dip my toe into coaching a little bit and just see what I like, and yeah, I think enjoy myself a little bit as well. Like obviously you don't get a huge amount of time to go on holiday and spend time with friends and family, so I'm going to make sure I have a really good holiday, really enjoy it, and embrace all the opportunities that come my way.
Is your alter ego going to come out a bit more? Because Catherine Sibber-Brunt's been telling us all about that in the last couple of days.
No, Shelley hasn't been out yet, so yeah, we'll see.
Do we need to watch that balcony dressing room?
Not too much. I think it's not a day for Shelley. We're at Lord's. Shelley doesn't really belong at Lord's, I don't think. So yeah, we'll see.
Heather, thank you for the memories. Congratulations on your career.
Thanks, Ali. Appreciate that. Cheers.
Heather Knight, the outgoing former England captain, retiring now from international cricket. I'll have a bit more of a chat here with Anesha. We were speaking about the India team, the occasion. India have received their trophy for winning this test match. It's quite a sizable trophy as well for this one-off test, isn't it? But yeah, the superstar names in this India team, Anesha, a word from you again. You talked about Kranti Gaur, Yastika Bhatia as well, getting her name on the honours board, and she was quite emotional. I interviewed her yesterday. She then came to speak to you, and she's a player who has had to show a tremendous amount of resilience during her career.
Absolutely, and this is such a huge moment for her because Sachin Tendulkar, I think, gifted her something, because she was one of the key architects of this victory just before the trophy presentation happened. And as I was mentioning, the 2025 ODI World Cup triumph for India happened 8 months ago. You saw the likes of Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet Kaur herself, Shafali Verma emerging as bona fide superstars. But what this test match has done is given that aura of stardom, brought that on to the likes of Yastika Bhatia and Kranti Gaur. Great stories all round, and I'm pretty certain India will be flying back home with their heads held high with the way they've performed here.
Oh, they're doing a bit of a lap of honour. They've headed right over to the grandstand where their fans have gathered. You can hear the calls and the shouts, the waving of the arms, the desires for selfies as they show off their trophies and their medals. Tammy Beaumont is here. Somebody else has finished your international career now, Tammy. Just said to Heather, can you believe it's all over? What's your overriding emotion now that your career is at an end internationally?
Yeah, I guess it's been a surreal week, really, ever since I announced it on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, probably not quite the goodbye I was after, but yeah, still an amazing experience to play in the first test match here at Lord's, and yeah, kind of go out in Something that was unimaginable in 2009 when I made my debut.
So Donald Bradman ended his career with a duck. Has anybody mentioned that to you? You're in good company.
Yeah, actually, someone must have told my husband yesterday and probably made it slightly better. But it was a bit awkward actually when I obviously got the Guard of Honour. I felt like there was no chance I could raise my bat because I hadn't used it, so went with the helmet instead. But I guess wasn't to be. But still really proud of the last 17 years and being part of a really special group for a very long time.
And where do you see your career heading now? You've obviously done a lot of media work already, but what lies ahead?
I guess I'm just keeping a lot of options open. Still going to play in the 100 for Birmingham Phoenix. Kind of really looking forward to that. And after that, I guess just kind of look into whatever's open there. Like obviously, love working in the media, and I've been doing a master's in leadership in sport for a couple of years. So I think I'll stay in the game. But probably see what happens. Might play next year. Who knows? I haven't decided yet.
I mean, it seems a fitting end that you do end your career here at Lords, the place where you lifted a World Cup trophy and was player of the tournament as well. Will that always stay with you as your career highlight?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels a very long time ago now.
We can talk about the double 100 at Trent Bridge as well.
Yeah, I got a few highlights. I actually got asked this in the press conference on Wednesday, and interestingly, the one I came up with at the time was the game at the Oval last year, where I was in charge for the game and that atmosphere and the comeback from the girls, and that win in particular for me, I think, really stands out. And the fact that I kind of got 2 in that game and didn't really do anything is mad that popped into my head. But so many amazing memories, and obviously here, 2017. It's a feeling that I've probably been trying to replicate for 9 years and has kind of eluded us in a way. But I guess amazing to go down with that piece of history.
Yeah, you can be very proud, Tammy. Thank you for the memories down the years as well. Congratulations on your career, and we'll look forward to still watching you play domestically.
Thank you. Thanks, Ali.
Tammy Beaumont, who's also nursing a lovely bottle of champagne that's got Tammy Beaumont written in gold lettering on it as well. 261 international matches, final appearance, Lord's Test, 10th to 13th of July 2026, engraved on the front. Lovely, Tammy. Well, when you drink it, you're going to keep the bottle, yeah?
Yeah, be drink aware, everyone. Drink in moderation, and obviously I'll be keeping the bottle. But,
good memory. Good messaging.
Yeah, I actually don't love champagne, so this will probably just be a special occasion.
I think you might find a few people who'll be willing to share it with you. Tammy Beaumont, who's there. Catherine, where does the team go from here? Because we've just spoken to Heather Knight. Tammy hasn't featured in the white ball games this year. Heather Knight has, so she leaves a hole certainly. Where do you see the team heading? They've got a bit of time before the next internationals against Ireland.
Yeah, there's many angles, isn't there? I think they've already sort of shown their face, their cards a little bit with Jodie Grewcock. Obviously Maya Boucher, just when she has stepped back into the domestic scene, has scored loads. I know Danny White-Hodge, she's not a young pup anymore, but she's just shown us she's not about to stop or slow down. So I know she's dying to get back into the one-day team on a consistent basis. So that's an option, but whether or not, Lottie wants to go in that direction, who can say? That conversation's probably going to be had over this winter, I imagine, at some point. And then there's, many, many more options. There's a lot of girls standing up now. Maddie Villiers is proof of that. She's performed consistently well, MVP of the month consistently, and ended up back in this test team. She's so happy to be back, and she did take her opportunity. We saw the resilience of her with the bat. She bowled very well, especially in her first spell. So I think in the Island series, Lottie said that she actually doesn't know. She wants to sit down and think. I think she'll have a pretty good idea, right? And what I'd like to see is not people having a rest. I would like to see her play what she believes is her best one-day team, and off the back of because it is probably the one days you would focus on, would then be your staple team for that Ashes series that's coming up. I think she should play her best team. You always see that as a chance to rest people, but I've never really believed in that, because they are sometimes confidence boosters that you need to pump into people when they are your last games before your next international games, a long period of time after the fact. So yeah, I hope she plays her best squad and gives them confidence and potentially rotates those 15 players over those 3 games. So we'll see.
Alex, I think you're of the mind that probably wouldn't be the best team put out against Ireland. Would you give a few players a rest? I guess particularly some of the bowlers after the lengthy period of activity they would have had.
Yeah, I can completely see where Catherine's coming from, having been a player that consistently got rested against the lesser teams, and it's really frustrating. She could have probably had another 100 wickets to her name, and we would be having different conversations. So I do completely understand where Catherine's coming from. I just think post 100, your likes of Lauren Bell, who might just be carrying a little niggle, who's played a lot of cricket, maybe a great time for her to be rested. But will Nat Sciver-Brunt play? Will Charlie Dean captain? They're all questions that Charlotte needs to sit down and have a think about. With, they will want to play. Of course, they want to play. Any time you get the opportunity to pull on an England shirt, I have no doubt that the girls that got rested for this Test match are gutted. They'll be absolutely gutted. A historic day at Lord's, playing a Test match. Charlie Dean, Freya Kemp, Danny Gibson will all be thinking, "You've got to be joking. Why am I resting now? I can rest afterwards." But look, this team is going to have to go through a journey. Will they dip in form with the loss of Tammy Beaumont and Heather Knight? Probably very briefly. I think they're lucky that they're playing Ireland next in those ODIs, and England can have a look at a few. But a great time for the likes of Jodie Grucock to show what she's about.
Yep, the Ireland series in September. There's a Champions Trophy T20 in February. That's about a 2-week tournament in the second half of that month. Then a West Indies tour in, I believe it's April, where it's scheduled to have a Test match. Whether that goes ahead, because the West Indies Test that they were due to play against Australia was cancelled. It was billed due to the fact that they wanted to focus on their white ball performances. But with West Indies, you never know. Financially, it's a stretch for them to host Test matches as well. So whether that match will take place, at the moment it's scheduled to. And then the Ashes, Catherine. So in terms of the Test team as well, albeit so few has played, and I put this to Nat Sciver-Brunt, but there is such an importance on them, because if you're going to win an Ashes series, you sort of need to be able to perform in the Test match because of the weighted point system. So therefore are you able to put your resources to make sure that you're upskilling for a Test match, albeit a very infrequent one, as much as you are with your white ball?
Yeah, and I think Lottie touched on what they could do between now and then, and potentially have those 2-day games, 3-day games with the red ball. They certainly can introduce some red ball stuff into training. It's so difficult because it's just not the same. The Duke's ball, I never got to bowl with it, but it is quite different. Not to mention different viewpoints, different colour background, sight screens. These are all things you need to get used to, etc. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about, and there's also, shall I go to the WBBL in Australia for 6 weeks? Because for some reason they haven't learned their lesson yet in that amount of time away. Not the England girls, the CA, Cricket Australia, thinking that our athletes these days, in this day and time, with how much is required of them, that amount of time is okay. It's not okay. Some franchises have it spot on. The 100 is a spot on amount of time. The IPL has become a better amount of time. You have to make it realistic when it's at the other side of the world for some people. So there'll be questions there whether or not they go. Not so much. There's got to be that focus on your mental health too. So it's a strange period of time, isn't it? And there's 2 series there. You've just mentioned, of February and April. That doesn't happen every year at all. That's almost an empty window, isn't it? So.
And the degree to which Nat Sciver-Brunt is able to come back and bowl, because in terms of that one-day side, that crucial balance.
Well, that's the important thing, right? About having. So when I played at the beginning, a long time ago, we had those periods of time at winter. So if you had something to work on, you need 3 months, right, to work on something. It doesn't take a couple of training sessions. If you're changing your arm position, your position at the crease, your feet, your alignment, that takes months. So me and her have had a discussion about whether it's right for our family, mental health, and actually, those aside, why don't you just take 2 minutes to work on something for once, instead of bouldering from one series to another franchise, to another. Let's just take 2 minutes, and if you want to learn how to be even better, because that's why you retire sometimes, right? You lose your spark, you lose your will to get up again, you lose yourself to find another gear in your career, because at 35 you're like, well, I think I should stop because everyone says I should. Well, actually, if you find yourself with a winter, you can actually reinvent yourself a little bit and get a bit better if that's possible. So it's all about the willpower and the desire to, but there is that opportunity there for a few now that they're quite well paid, to not have to take opportunities for money. It's actually going to now be about, shall I up myself?
And that's quite a shift, isn't it, for those who do have the opportunity to play WPL and to play Big Bash cricket. It's an amazing shift. Right, we're being joined by Sneh Rana, who took the match-winning... Come on in, Sneh, have a chat. Alison, lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much.
How was it at the end then, striving for that final wicket and for you to now be at the centre of such an historic moment at Lords?
First of all, I'm so glad that I took that wicket, because before that, all of that were going for the DRS, and I was like, oh my God, always missing. Then finally, I got one. So I'm really grateful that we won the first ever women's test here at Lords. So I'm grateful for that.
And just how well have you been supported by the bowling attack around you during this match?
They were all brilliant, starting from Kranti God, then Saili, Deepti and Charni. They all bowled really brilliant. So our bowling attack was fabulous.
What is it like in the dressing room at the moment, knowing that you've got not one but two players on that honours board now?
Honestly, we are very privileged to share the dressing room with all of them, and so honoured and so glad that our two players, first time the name come up to the honours board. We have seen the men's players there in the honours board, but now the women's are also there, so really grateful for that.
Do you know one player who's not on the Lords honours board is Sachin Tendulkar?
Oh, yeah.
You met him this morning, didn't you? What did he have to say to you? What was that conversation?
He was like, just stay hungry and humble and just give your best. I am here to support you guys.
Yeah. As a team, what can you say about the way Harmanpreet has led you? So through a World Cup campaign, the T20 World Cup did not go as you would have wanted as a team. So how has she responded?
She has always been brilliant, and she has always been supporting, and she always supports the young talent as well. Kranti God, in her mentorship, she has grown really well, and we are all grateful and hope she continues to do things.
What's it been like just now going to greet your fans?
They are so lovely, and they have come in huge numbers. I have early said that come in huge numbers. So they have came here in really huge numbers, and I'm so grateful and happy that everywhere we go, the Indians are there to support us. So thank you so much.
Sneh, congratulations on the victory. You've taken part in history. Great to have a chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sneh Rana, who took the match-winning wicket here at Lords. The India team have got their medals around their neck, and they've been celebrating amongst themselves with their friends, family that are here, and also the phalanx of Indian fans who are still crowded along the front reaches of the grandstand, looking for those selfies and for those autographs as well.